What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 9RG Chapter 241 Ghetto Statue, The Body of 10 Tails. Garp snorted coldly, his footsteps jumped, and he rushed towards Air quickly. The two had a fierce confrontation again. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kaido and Kong. Kaido's current strength, although it is close to the peak period in the original work. However, it still hasn't reached its true peak. Because of Kaido's age, compared to Golden Lion and others, he is still a lot younger. Kaido, who was at his peak, is eligible to play against Kong. But now, before he has finished growing up, Kaido is a little hard to resist Kong's offensive. Roaring Thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido let out a roar, and then wrapped the power of Armor Color and Conqueror's Haki from his mace. Roaring 8 trigrams, the upgraded version of Thunder 8 trigrams, can exert a power that completely surpasses Thunder 8 trigrams. The power of the terrifying 783 was displayed from Kaido's whole body, and the mace in his hand exuded a chilling breath. With a mace in both hands, Kaido waved towards Kong with all his strength with a ferocious expression on his face. Is that just a move, Kaido? Kong clenched his fists and threw a punch, clashing with Kaido's mace. Before the attack of the two men could be touched, the terrifying momentum was centered on the two of them. It quickly spread out in all directions, and the ground plane beneath his feet was even more broken. Kaido Conqueror's Haki is not weak, but Kong Conqueror's Haki is stronger than Kaido. After all, Kong is the Marshal of Naval Headquarters. The two attacked, and after a moment of confrontation, Kong knocked Kaido out with terrifying power. What a troublesome opponent. Kaido carried a mace on his shoulders and stared at Kong with a grim look. His proud offensive, and the power of Conqueror's entanglement, don't come cheap on Kong. Because the other party, who is also the owner of Conqueror's Haki, will also be entangled in Conqueror's. At your age, the power of the Master Conqueror's entanglement really surprised me, but, with your current strength, how long can you hold on to my hand, Kaido? Kong slowly approached Kaido with a sneer on the corner of his mouth. After all, Kaido will become a man of the 4 emperors in the future, so his talent is naturally too strong. Advertisement at this age, he has already mastered the power of Conqueror's entanglement. But, the current Kaido is still not enough to see in front of Kong. It's not that easy to beat me, Kaido snorted coldly. The thing that Kaido is most proud of is his body. You know, even the guys from the world government are extremely interested in his body. Arrested him many times and wanted to study him. Kaido admits that there is a power gap between himself and Kong. However, he doesn't think that he will fall into Kong's hands in a short time. Don't think too highly of yourself, Kaido. Your body is indeed strong, but, in front of my Arm Color and Conquerors, it's not worth mentioning at all. Kong's armament Haki, however, has reached the level of internal destruction. Regardless of Kaido's defense, no matter how high his HP is, how many times can he carry his fist of internal destruction? Then try it. The words fell, and Kaido didn't say much nonsense, and ran directly towards Kong. The two then started a fierce confrontation again. In the middle of the field, Air is constantly fighting Garp. The area within a radius of several hundred meters has long been in chaos because of the battle between the two. The melee between the pirates and the marines, so it didn't take long to start. However, more than 70% of the naval headquarters area has been completely damaged. At the same time, the number of marine soldiers affected by this battle is more than 10,000. Boom! In the battlefield, Air and Garp collided with another blow, and then the two figures backed away. The two have been fighting for a long time, and it seems that they are comparable. Marine, who was watching the battle from a distance, looked at everyone on the battlefield and couldn't help discussing. Although the abilities of the air monsters are extremely terrifying, but the final winner of this battle really belongs to our Marines. Although Air's monster can be on par with Garp, Shiki and Kaido are both at a disadvantage. I believe that it won't be long before Sengoku Admiral and Marshal Kong can deal with those two enemies and besiege Air altogether. Let's stay away for the time being, don't get too close, or we will be affected. This battle alone is enough to defeat these 3 big pirates with Garp Vice Admiral. After defeating the 3 of them this time, New World will directly lose 4 big pirates in a few days, and this sea will be ruled by our Marines again. Although Air unleashed a lot of terrifying abilities, causing the Marine to suffer heavy losses. But no matter what powers Air unleashes, it's just their normal Marines that kill them. Advertisement Garp can still compete with Air, as long as Garp can drag, Sengoku and Kong settle their opponents. At that time, the 3 were besieged, no matter how terrifying Air was. They Marine are sure to win. You're a little tougher than I thought, Garp. In the case of only relying on its own strength, and not relying on too many other abilities. He really had a hard time getting rid of the Garp guy. The opponent's physical skills, as well as combat experience, are a bit stronger than he imagined. What, are you going to admit defeat, Air? That's not true, it's just that I'm not interested in continuing to play with you. If you have any moves, just use them. Garp naturally knew that Air's abilities were extremely diverse. However, he is now completely unafraid of Air's abilities. He is still full of confidence in his own strength. I think that no matter how terrible Air's ability is, he can handle it himself. Of course, that's not to say that Garp thinks he has a 100% chance of taking the 4.3 grip off the Air. But he felt that as long as he could hold out until Kong and Sengoku were able to solve their opponents. His mission is complete, then I will do what you want. Outlaw, summoning Golem. In his opinion, using the power of Ten Tails Jinchuriki against Garp would be a bit overkill. Gedo statue is what Ten Tails looks like without chakra. This is the body of Ten Tails, Gedo statue. As Air's voice fell, the ground shook violently in an instant. This chapter contains pictures. Click the illustration button in the lower right corner of the screen to view the pictures. Air clasped his hands together and let out a light slap. Then suddenly a huge monster rushed out from the ground in front of him. Boom! He intends to use the power of the fairy eyes to summon the body of Ten Tails to fight. Chapter 242 Gedo Statue's ability, Dragon and Thunder. However, even without chakra, Gedo statue is still extremely devastating. Gedo statue is roaring and roaring with his bloody mouth open, and the momentum is earth-shattering. Gedo statue's body is huge, and his body exudes an astonishing aura. The sense of terrifying oppression directly enveloped the entire naval headquarters, and everyone felt a threat from Ultimate. What kind of monster is this? The size of this monster is too big. Damn it, it's an ability I've never seen before. Every time this fellow Air fights against us, he can always unleash a unique ability. Don't worry, trust Garp Vice Admiral's strength, he can handle this monster. 35. Looking at the Gedo statue that emerged from the ground in front of him, many marine experts were stunned. It was the first time they met, Air unleashed such a terrifying monster. Although they were flustered, they still chose to believe in Garp's strength. Although Garp is only Vice Admiral, it is one of the top mainstays of their naval headquarters. Now your opponent is 2 Garp. Air came to the side of the Outlander 03 Golem and said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. So what? Garp said coldly, his face darkened, although he did feel a huge sense of oppression in this Gedo statue. However, he doesn't think he will lose, the Chakra Dragon. Air didn't say anything nonsense to Garp, and directly manipulated Gedo statue. As Air's voice fell, a purple dragon spewed out of Gedo statue's mouth. The purple dragon, with a bloody mouth, rushed towards Garp at an ultimate speed that surpassed the speed of sound. Shave. Face the blow. Garp did not choose to resist hard, but with the power of Marine 6 styles, he jumped into the air. However, the purple dragon's body is extremely flexible, and he can see Garp's position in an instant. Roar. The purple dragon let out a loud roar, then charged directly at Garp. Although Garp still wanted to dodge, the purple dragon's movement speed was too fast. Before Garp could react, the purple dragon swallowed Garp directly. My stamina is losing. Advertisement. Garp was spit in by the purple dragon, but he wasn't seriously injured. But he could clearly feel it. His physical strength was rapidly draining, and he felt a sense of weakness all over his body. In the original book, the Chakra Dragon's ability is to devour the opponent's chakra. However, in this pirate world, Garp and others obviously do not have chakra. So, this giant dragon is constantly devouring Garp's physical strength. Fistfall. Garp's fists were charged, and with all his strength, he slammed into the purple dragon that devoured himself. This punch of his contains armed color and conqueror's haki, as well as the strength of his whole body. The terrifying force attacked the purple dragon. Directly from the inside, completely destroy the body of the purple dragon. And Garp also managed to escape from it and landed in the air. However, at the moment of landing, Garp suddenly felt his legs go weak and almost fell over. Damn it. Garp frowned, feeling uncomfortable, although he was only swallowed by the purple dragon for a few seconds. But in just a few seconds, he directly lost more than half of his physical strength. It's not over yet. Garp, lightning style. Air let out a light ZHA, and then the protrusion on Gedo statue directly triggered Tinlay. The sky was suddenly dense with dark clouds, lightning flashed, and endless white thunder was gathering. There was a terrifying sound that made people palpitate. Although Air does not have the power of lightning style of master, lightning style is derived from the power of Gedo statue. When he was able to successfully manipulate Gedo statue with the help of the power of fairy eyes. All the abilities of Gedo statue can be controlled by Air. Boom. There was a huge roar of eardrums from high in the sky. I saw a flash of white light, and several terrifying and boundless thunders descended from the sky. Every thunderbolt has extremely terrifying lethality and boundless scope. Several thunders landed, completely blocking all of Garp's escape routes. Advertisement, long. The thunder landed completely, impacting Garp's body. All they could see was a dazzling white light flashing past, and the white light slowly dissipating. Everyone could see that Garp was scorched all over at this time and his clothes were damaged. Garp Vice Admiral. How is it possible? This guy's ability is too terrifying. He has directly damaged Garp Vice Admiral. Damn, Marshal Kong and Sengoku Admiral haven't dealt with their opponent yet. Why do I feel like Garp can't hold back Air's attack? No, we have to go up and help. Garp Vice Admiral may not be Air's opponent. Help? What are you kidding? We can't get close to the abilities released by these monsters? Seeing that Garp was hit hard by Air's lightning style, the Marines panicked to the extreme. Although they also want to go up to assist Garp, but they also know that their strength is too weak. In front of Air, not even cannon fodder, the other side. The Golden Lion fighting against Sengoku. 783. Jiahaha. Is it lightning? The lightning you can control is far more terrifying than that of Kaido, Air. Golden Lion is Kaido's ally. Naturally, it is also clear that Kaido's Devil Fruit ability can even manipulate thunder and lightning in the sky. But the lightning that Kaido can unleash is not enough to see in front of Air. Air released the lightning, and the moment it landed, even the Golden Lion felt chills down his spine. Damn, couldn't this guy be solved by Garp alone? Sengoku said solemnly. I thought Garp had trained for that long in the Holy Land Marijoy. It is enough to compete with monsters like Air, but he didn't expect that Air's strength was completely beyond his imagination. No matter how strong Garp is, it's still a bit underwhelming in front of Air. Sengoku is now completely unimaginable. Air's strength has reached a terrifying level. As long as I can hold you back, you will lose this battle, Sengoku. Hold me, stop joking Shiki, I will use my strongest force to defeat you. Now, he doesn't want to continue to retain any strength. Big Buddha form. Chapter 243 One-shot-tailed beast bomb directly penetrates naval headquarters, please order. In order to quickly solve the troublesome enemy Golden Lion. Sengoku, directly into the Devil Fruit ability, the Buddha form. I saw Sengoku. A dazzling golden light appeared all over his body, and the golden light slowly dissipated. A huge Buddha statue appeared in the sight of everyone. Sengoku's training over the years has not only been studying physical art. Devil Fruit's ability, he is also constantly developing. After entering the form of the Great Buddha, Sengoku's strength has improved a lot. Big Buddha Shockwave. Sengoku let out a light ZHA, and the next second, a white airflow was covered from his palms. Astonishing power emerged from his palm. Sengoku waved his palms violently and slapped Golden Lion with all his strength. Lion Majesty, Earth Coiling. The Golden Lion roared, and then used Devil Fruit's ability. Manipulating the ground beneath his feet, they converged into huge lion heads. The volume of each lion head is no smaller than that of Sengoku's golden body. Of course, the aura emanating from it is also in full swing. Roar. Several huge lion heads roared at Sengoku, then charged towards him quickly. Sengoku's Big Buddha Shockwave collided with the lion head released by the Golden Lion. But, in the end, Sengoku's ability is even better, directly destroying all the lion heads. The terrifying shockwave did not dissipate, but charged straight towards the Golden Lion. Boom! There was a huge roaring sound from the scene, setting off a sky of smoke and dust. As the smoke and dust slowly dissipated, it could be seen that Golden Lion had a lot of injuries. Over the years, Golden Lion has been training hard to develop the upper limit of Devil Fruit's ability. But in the end Golden Lion was groping by himself. In addition, Golden Lion spent a lot of time preparing his own plans and recruiting strong players. So these years of cultivation time are naturally not as long as Sengoku. Not to mention Sengoku, who was personally directed by the Five Elders, the supreme ruler of the world government. In terms of the speed of strength improvement, Sengoku is naturally above the Golden Lion. Damn! Advertisement. Golden Lion scolded and charged towards Sengoku again in dissatisfaction. Naturally, Sengoku was not wrong, and used all his powers to deal with the Golden Lion. After a long time, the Battle of Naval Headquarters did not last for a short time. More than 90% of the area has been damaged by this battle. On the other side, Air and Garp. Although Garp's strength is extremely strong. Although a lot of physical strength was drawn, and it was also hit hard by the lightning strike that was summoned by lightning style. But Garp still fought Air tenaciously for a long time. I have to say that Garp's current strength is really beyond Air's imagination. As expected, since the end of the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, he has been trained by the Five Elders in the Holy Land Marijoy. Up to now, the strength is slightly higher than the Five Elders. Garp can be said to be more and more brave. Even in the face of Air and Gedo statue teaming up at the same time, it did not fall too far. "You're a lot tougher than I thought, Garp," Air exclaimed. "Why, do you have no other abilities to release, Air?" Garp sneered. Air's abilities are indeed numerous and extremely pervert. However, he can still bear those abilities. If Air now has no other power than the power of Gedo statue, then this battle, in Garp's view, is a sure win, because he could see that Golden Lion and Kaido had been injured quite a bit. Before long, these two will be defeated. When the time comes, the three team up to deal with Air, and they will not lose no matter what. "Next, I will give you the final blow. I hope you can stop Garp." The words fell, and Air directly poured the power of his 10 tails into Gedo statue's body. Gedo statue, after absorbing the power of 10 tails from his own origin, the whole body exudes the breath of ultimate horror. Tailed Beast Bomb. Air let out a thud, then manipulated Gedo statue to unleash the power of Tailed Beast Bomb. Tailed Beast Bomb is the strongest move of Tailed Beast. With Gedo statue without any chakra power, it is naturally impossible to unleash such moves. Advertisement, however, with Air pouring a lot of 10 tails chakra from Gedo statue. Gedo statue, you can successfully unleash the terrifying ultimate moves such as Tailed Beast Bomb. I saw Gedo statue, opened his huge mouth, and gathered a purple-black sphere in his mouth. In an instant, an endless storm swept across all directions. The Tailed Beast Bomb released by Air's Gedo statue this time. Worse than the Tailed Beast Bomb unleashed in the Holy Land Marijoy. After all, back then, he just summoned a part of 10 tails, and then released Tailed Beast Bomb. But now, he directly summoned the body of the 10 tails, Gedo statue. And most of the power of 10 tails is poured into it. The Tailed Beast Bomb released this time definitely has the level of destruction. The Tailed Beast Bomb in Gedo statue's mouth continued to expand, and the sense of oppression that spread out made Garp stand upside down. "Air!" Garp let out a loud roar, and his footsteps suddenly burst, trying to get close to Gedo statue to prevent the opponent from releasing Tailed Beast Bomb. After all, he had already felt how terrifying power the Tailed Beast Bomb exuded. Once he hits it, he is likely to be unable to hold it. It's late, Garp. Garp is extremely fast, but Gedo statue gathers Tailed Beast Bomb even faster. At the moment when Garp approached Gedo statue, Tailed Beast Bomb, Zhao Qianhao, has been fully assembled. Roar. Gedo statue roared, then spit the Tailed Beast Bomb in his mouth directly on Garp. Boom. A sound like the sky resounded. The high-altitude dark clouds were directly shaken, forming a continuously twisted vortex. Then, a huge tearing sound entered everyone's ears. The deep pit has come into contact with seawater. A terrifying ripple swept the entire naval headquarters. The Tailed Beast Bomb released by Gedo statue controlled by Air directly pierced the naval headquarters. Everyone could see that a huge deep pit appeared in front of Air. But with the release of Tailed Beast Bomb, all the buildings in the entire naval headquarters collapsed in an instant. Originally, naval headquarters still had some buildings that had not been destroyed. In front of Air, a thick cloud of smoke billowed from the sky. Kakaka. Gang. Chapter 244 Naval Headquarters sinking into the sea? Garp Vice Admiral. How is it possible? Has Garp Vice Admiral lost? Damn it. Garp Vice Admiral's strength is already the top combat strength of our naval headquarters. Even so, is it still not Air's opponent? This guy is not a human or a monster at all, but a demon. Seeing that the central area of naval headquarters was pierced, countless marine soldiers were terrified to the extreme. No one could have imagined that the Tailed Beast Bomb released by Air's manipulation of Gedo statue would be so terrifying. Garp. Sengoku, who was fighting against the Golden Lion, saw this scene, his pupils contracted violently, and he shouted in disbelief. He knew that Garp might not be a match for Air, but he didn't think so. Garp lost so quickly. Gia ha ha ha. Has Garp lost? You Marines are sure to lose, Golden Lion laughed. With Garp's loss, Marine is now left with only 2 top players. As for the other Marines, in front of their group of top powerhouses, it's simply not enough to see. 3 against 2, no matter what they think, they're bound to win. The other side, Kaido said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Before you can deal with me, you have already lost. 783 Kaido is not Kong's opponent, and when confronted with Kong, he is at a disadvantage everywhere. However, he is rough-skinned and thick-skinned, Conqueror's hockey grandmaster. No matter how fast and violent Kong's offensive is, it will be difficult to defeat him. Now he has successfully weathered Garp's defeat. That way, it doesn't matter if Air is going to assist the Golden Lion or him next. It must be their victory in the end. Damn, isn't the current Garp the opponent of this monster Air? Kong growled with a grim expression. You must know that Garp's current combat power is slightly higher than that of the 5 elders. But even so, he couldn't beat air, when the battlefield situation is anxious. Kong, Sengoku is full of worries. Suddenly a marine soldier shouted. Air, we have brought you the person you want, advertisement. Everyone heard the news and looked around, only to see Vegapunk appearing in everyone's sight. 2 days ago, after Akainu and others brought Vegapunk back. And then left to deal with the trouble of Roger's execution. And Vegapunk, these days have been keeping them in a laboratory somewhere in naval headquarters. The Marine clearly remembered Air's presence at their naval headquarters. For the sake of asking for Vegapunk, however, at the beginning they still had great confidence in themselves. Air refused because he thought he could win Air and Golden Lion Kaido. Today, Garp has lost, and Air is still in his prime. If the fight continued, the consequences would be unimaginable, so they could only bring Vegapunk out. Then to Air, leave him to me, it won't be too much. Air walked slowly towards Vegapunk. Marine, standing behind Vegapunk, sees Air approaching. Frightened out of a cold sweat, he hurriedly backed away. I knew you would come, Mr. Air, Vegapunk said with a smile on his face. It is because the time with Air is not short. That's why Vegapunk is particularly aware of how amazing Air's strength is. It is because of his confidence in Air's strength. So even if he was arrested by Marine, he didn't have the slightest fear. He was sure that Air would come to save him, and now he's been waiting for it. Now that you've taken the man, the battle is over, Air. A Marine Vice Admiral, cautiously. They knew very well that if they continued to fight, they would be doomed. So, now, we can only hope that Air will just leave. If I asked you for it at the beginning, and you gave it to me, then I would have left long ago, but now, added, the war has started, do you think I will leave so easily? Air sneered. He has no interest in this battle at all. If he asked Marine for Vegapunk in the first place, he would have given it to him. Then he killed a few people and naturally left immediately. But now, it's him who has beaten Garp with toughness. Marine brought Vegapunk out. Advertisement at this time, Marine actually planned to truce and let him go. How can it be that simple? What do you want to do? When many Marines heard this, they slumped to the ground and asked in horror. Today, let this naval headquarters be full of marlin and sink it into the sea. 9. Tengai Shinsei. Air let out a soft thud and clasped his hands together. In the next second, a huge roar sounded from high in the sky. I saw an incomparably huge, indistinct flaming meteorite that was rapidly descending. With the ability of Tengai Shinsei, every time the meteorite summoned is bigger than the last time. Upon arriving at naval headquarters, Air released one. Therefore, when it is released again, the volume of the meteorite is now several times larger than it was just now. Beneath this vast meteorite that exudes ultimate terror, naval headquarters is like a small boat in a big wave. Hey. Just kidding, this meteorite is much bigger than the previous one. This guy really intends to sink our naval headquarters into the sea. Why does this monster have so many desperate abilities? Looking at the huge meteorite in the sky, countless Marines gave up their resistance instantly and slumped to the ground. When Air first came on stage, the meteorites unleashed wreaked havoc on their naval headquarters. Today, this even larger meteorite has no way to defend against it. Because even Kong and Sengoku team up to destroy it. Then just the falling meteorite blocks are still enough to sink their naval headquarters into the sea. After summoning Tengai Shinsei, Air left here with Vegapunk directly. And Golden Lion and Kaido saw meteorites high in the sky. It did not choose to continue to engage with the group of Marines, but quickly retreated to a safe area. Boom! Hearing a loud bang from naval headquarters, monstrous waves thousands of meters high were instantly set off on the sea. Huge meteorite, it is unknown how many times larger than naval headquarters. Cover it directly and completely sink it into the sea. Unless Marine has a special devil fruit ability to recover. Otherwise, this building of naval headquarters is equivalent to being wiped from the sea. Chapter 245 Going to advance to rescue Roger? Ding! Congratulations to host, for getting 200 Celestial Eyes progress. Along with the deep sea of naval headquarters, the sound of the system also entered Air's mind. Air then opened the properties panel that only he could see. Host. Air abilities. Armament Hockey, Max. Observation Hockey, Max. Conquerors, Hockey, Max. Special ability. Sage Body, Max. Own ability. Swordsmanship, Big GNL. Special abilities. Sage Eyes, 6,000 10,000ths, currently late stage, unlocked abilities. Complete Susanoo, Tengai Shinsei, Shinra Sky, Universal Pull, Rinnegan Coercion, Summoning Ghetto Statue, Planetary Devastation. Note. When the progress is full, other abilities of the Sage's Eye will be unlocked, and a chance for a special lottery will be obtained. 9 Tails. Tailed Beast Bomb, unlocked, Tailed Beast Transformation, unlocked, currently full Tailed Beast Transformation. Kurama Chakra Mode. Unlocked, Kurama mode, unlocked. 10 tails. 10 tails Jinchuriki, to unlock, abilities gained. Wood style, Sage mode, Rasengan, Hado, Ace Kano physique. It can be seen that the current progress of Air's Fairy Eyes has reached a full 6,000 points. The distance is 10,000 points, and the progress is only 4,000 points away. Wait until the Immortal Eye also reaches full level. Then Air will be able to fully use the power of the 10 tails and become a true sage of 6 paths. Not during the Battle of the Holy Land Marijoy, the half-finished sage of 6 paths. With a brief glance at the properties panel, Air turned it off. At this time, the Golden Lion was floating in the air, looking at the masterpiece in front of him. He couldn't help laughing. Jia ha ha ha. That guy Garp was defeated by you, Shenhai, and that guy Sengoku is a power man, unless Kong can survive your meteorite blow. Otherwise, the 3 top combat powers of naval headquarters and countless marine elites are all killed by you, Air, 99. Under the meteorite summoned by Air, the chances of those marine elites surviving were extremely low. As for whether Kong can survive this blow, it is still unknown. If Kong is alive, Garp and Sengoku will definitely be rescued by him, and none of them will die. Advertisement. But if Kong is also dead, then Garp and Sengoku will be dead. A rough estimate, Naval Headquarters estimates that there are about 100,000 marine elites, all of whom have been killed by you, Air. Kaido turned into a giant dragon, floating in the air, staring at the ocean road in front of him. Although it is said that in this top-level melee, the group of marine elites did not play any role. But it is undeniable that the area of Naval Headquarters is enormous. As the headquarters of Marine, the number of marine elites on the island is also extremely large. But now, this group of marine elites can only live 1/1000th of them at most. The strength of this guy is really limitless, there is no upper limit. Air, Golden Lion can't help but sigh. Air is really the fastest growing man he has ever seen in this world. Back then, when he first joined the Rox group, Air was only a regular crew member. But now, the combat power possessed by Air has completely surpassed countless powerhouses. Forget it, you two. Air calmly glanced at the two of them. In this battle, he did kill enough marines, but Garp, Sengoku, and Kong are probably still not dead. After all, as the top powerhouse of naval headquarters, how could it be so easy to die? But Air was not interested either and went to sea to search for the traces of several people. Jia ha ha ha. You are still so modest, Air, but I am really glad that you are here today, otherwise we would be in trouble. Golden Lion laughed. Shut up, Shiki. You be ***************** D. If it wasn't for your brainstorming to invade naval headquarters, would such a thrilling thing happen? Kaido scolded. Such a thrilling experience today is something that Kaido will never forget. After all, if Marine hadn't captured Vegapunk at this point in time, then Air is not coming today. If Air didn't come, it was impossible to deal with Kong, Sengoku, and Garp with just the two of them. At that time, what awaits them will also be public executions. 0. Ask for flowers. Kaido, you can't say that. If it wasn't because the two of us invaded naval headquarters, or you wouldn't have a chance to participate in a battle of this scale, would you? Advertisement. Through today's battle, Golden Lion has a general understanding of Air's strength. In his opinion, the terrifying combat power that Air now possesses, unless 3 or more pirates join forces. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's impossible to beat him. You be ****************** D. If you go to die next time, I will occupy all your territory. Kaido snorted coldly. Kaido came to save the Golden Lion this time, entirely because he needed to use the power of the Golden Lion in the future. And after going through such an adventurous thing as today, Kaido's hatred for Golden Lion is also great. If Golden Lion is so mindless next time, he will do extremely dangerous things. Then he will directly dissolve the alliance with the Golden Lion, and occupy all the sites of the Golden Lion at the same time. As for the war that will sweep the world in the future, we will talk about it later. The Golden Lion ignored Kaido and focused on Air. But then again, Air, come with me to the impelled down prison. That guy Roger should be imprisoned there now. If you join forces with me, the two of us will definitely be able to rescue him. In his opinion, even if Roger is going to die, he can only die at his hands. If he was publicly executed by Marine, wouldn't Roger, the Pirate King, lose his face? I'm not interested in saving an irrelevant person. In the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, Roger and others really saved Air's life. And another point is that Roger surrendered himself, and he couldn't help it. Air didn't want to get involved in this trouble without any benefit to be gained. When Kaido heard Golden Lion's words, he couldn't help but yell at him. Air glanced at Golden Lion and refused without hesitation. Single G now, they are irrelevant. However, Air also helped Roger resist the Golden Lion in the later Battle of Advor. The debt he owed Roger was over. Chapter 246. the dumbfounded Zephyr and others. Shiki, are you out of your mind? Why are you trying to save Roger? Some time ago, Kaido teamed up with the Golden Lion to destroy the Roger Pirates. Now that Roger is about to be executed, shouldn't the Golden Lion be happy? Why is my brain twitching and making trouble at naval headquarters all by myself? Now he even wants to invade Impel Down, the world's largest prison, to save Roger. At this time, he really felt that Golden Lion's brain was broken. Golden Lion raised his head slightly, looked at the raindrops that kept falling from the sky, and lit a cigar slowly. Roger's death doesn't make me happy, Kaido, his death makes the sea a lot less fun. If Roger can die at his hands, then the Golden Lion must be very excited. But Roger died at Marine's hands and was publicly executed. This is hard for Golden Lion to accept. You be **************** D. If you want to go. 783. Go by yourself. I won't accompany you to die. Kaido cursed. Impel Down, as the world's largest prison, there is no doubt that there are countless masters in that place. That place, though not as dangerous as naval headquarters. However, Kaido doesn't want to get involved with the Golden Lion anymore. If Golden Lion wants to die, go for it. Kaido left this sentence and left directly. Come on, Vegapunk. I see. Air didn't stop here either, making more stops and letting Vegapunk steer the boat. The two also left here. Only the Golden Lion was left with a cigar in his mouth, still messed up in the wind. Although the Golden Lion wanted to be alone now, he went to push Cheng and rescued Roger. However, he also knew that he was seriously injured after a battle with Sengoku. If you go there rashly, you will most likely be arrested by the advanced group of experts. After thinking, Golden Lion finally chose to leave this place for the time being. Not long after the crowd left, puff, poof, 5. Advertisement, puff. On the sea level, Garp, Kong, and Sengoku appeared. Although Garp was sunk by air, although he was seriously injured, he did not die. Because of his armament hockey, he had already cultivated to the level of black bones. That is, armament hockey can be covered on the bones to protect the internal organs. What a terrifying tailed beast bomb unleashed by air's manipulation of Gedo statue. But with one blow, Garp can still resist and die. After all, Garp, who majors in physique, has the strongest physical body and armed color. However, when he was sunk, when he wanted to swim up from the deep sea, air summoned a meteorite to sink the entire naval headquarters into the sea. Then, under the turbulent sea, he met Sengoku, who was completely powerless and was about to fall into a coma. Then they met Kong, and the three came to the sea level. In addition to these three, other Marines have also emerged one after another. These surviving Marines are Marine Commodore grades for the last time. However, it is roughly estimated that only about 1,000 people are still alive. There are 100,000 Marine elites, but only 8,000 survived. Those surviving Marines, looking at the floating ruins around, and the slightly empty sea. Directly into confusion, frustration, shock, fear. The naval headquarters. Sinking. I really didn't expect it to end like this in the end. Can we Marines really enter the new world? Just the monster air is enough to give us a headache. That guy is simply an invincible monster. They thought they could take down the three big pirates, Air, Golden Lion, and Kaido. But unexpectedly, the final outcome not only failed to win these three people. Instead, they lost nearly 100,000 Marine elites, as well as the numerous sunken seas of naval headquarters. Now they, just remembering Air's name, can't help but shudder. Damn Air. Kong looked at the surrounding sea area and couldn't help scolding. There are many Marines, but they are the main base of Marine, and it is also a symbol of honor and dignity. And today, Air actually drowned their entire Malian into the sea. You can see the surrounding sea area, only some ruins are still standing on the sea. Most of the buildings in Malian were sunk by the blow of Tengai Shinsei. Advertisement at this moment, Garp could not help clenching his fists and said angrily. Damn it, if only Zephyr and Crane were here, we could take Air together. Although the strength of Zephyr and Crane is not comparable to that of Garp and Sengoku, their strength is also extremely terrifying. If the two of them were there to join forces with Garp in this naval headquarters battle, he believes that he has a 100% certainty that he can take Air to zero. But unfortunately, these two were dealing with Roger's affairs with Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru and others. Not at naval headquarters. The most regrettable thing for me is not only that we didn't take down Air and the others, but also the Marine elites that our Marine has worked so hard to cultivate for several years. Under Air's ability, almost all of them died. Sengoku sighed and said. Naval headquarters, there are 100,000 Marine elites. But under Air's ability, they were destroyed like paper, completely unstoppable. Almost all perished under Air's Tengai Shinsei, only 8,000 survived. Although our strength has improved a lot over the years, Air's strength has also been improving, even faster than us. Garp took a deep breath and said solemnly. I don't know, when will we get rid of this troublesome enemy air? Even Garp's strength can't beat air one-on-one. Sengoku really doesn't know when they will find the opportunity to take out air's enemies. Whoa! At this moment, not far from the sea surface, there was a sound of ocean currents. First saw a marine battleship approaching here, and it was none other than Zephyr, Crane, Akainu, Kizaru, Aokiji and others standing on the bow of marine battleship. Zephyr, who arrived at the scene, saw the scene in front of him, froze in place, and said in surprise. What happened? Why did they just leave here for a day or two in 4.3, and naval headquarters sank directly into the sea? Kong also has a very top-notch combat power. Otherwise, Crane really can't think of anyone who can stand in front of Garp, Sengoku, Kong, and 100,000 marine elites. You know, Sengoku and Garp are already slightly stronger than the five elders. With such combat power, who can make naval headquarters sink into the sea? At the same time, naval headquarters also has 100,000 marine elites they have trained. Damn, are all the big pirates in the New World teaming up? Isn't the relationship between these monsters incompatible? How can they team up together? Akainu looked gloomy and incomprehensible. Unless it's New World, all the big pirates join forces. Did someone invade naval headquarters when we were leaving? Could it be that all the big pirates in the New World joined forces? Crane frowned and pondered. Destroy the entire naval headquarters. Chapter 247. That monster air has become stronger. If all the big pirates in the New World join forces, it is normal that they can't resist Mr. Garp alone. 99. But the timing of that group of monsters joining forces is really just right. Just when we left, they invaded this place. There are not a few big pirates in the New World, if it is really all the big pirates in the New World team up. Then unless they naval headquarters, all the top fighting forces come together, there is a possibility of a battle. It is normal that Garp, Sengoku, and Kong alone cannot defend against their attack. Garp, Sengoku, Kong, what the hell happened? Zephyr, standing on the bow, shouted at them. The air group invaded here. 35 Garp looked sad and regretted. Sure enough, all the big pirates in the New World have joined forces. These be *********** D pirates. When we enter the New World, we must make them pay the price, Akainu said with a grim expression and clenched fists. They thought what Garp meant when he said Air's guys had invaded this place. The great pirates of the New World have all joined forces. After all, this is the only explanation that is more plausible now. No, it's not that all the big pirates in the New World joined forces. Only Air, Shiki, and Kaido invaded here. Kong shook his head slightly. What? Hearing Kong's words, everyone standing on the marine battleship was stunned. Only Air, Shiki, Kaido, 3 people. Can you deal with Garp, Sengoku, Kong, and 100,000 marine elites? What a joke. You know, Garp, Sengoku's current strength is not what it used to be. Even the top leaders of the world government, the 5 elders, are no match for the 2 of them. Although Kaido is the big pirate of the New World, he is the weakest among the group of big pirates. The Golden Lion, although has a decent combat power. However, in one-on-one terms, Garp Sengoku can easily gain the upper hand. And 1 Air is left. Wasn't his ability used once at the Battle of the Holy Land Marijoy? His strength should have returned to the normal level, and he can no longer use the boosted power. In this way, with only the 3 of them, how can naval headquarters sink into the sea? Advertisement Crane was silent for a long time and asked in disbelief. Garp, are you kidding me that the 3 of them can destroy naval headquarters? Although our strength has become stronger, but that guy Air has become stronger, I am not his opponent. Garp took a deep breath and said solemnly. Becoming stronger? 35 Hearing Garp's words, the Cranes couldn't help but sweat coldly on their foreheads. Garp is carrying out devilish training every day and every night, almost without stopping for a moment. Even so, can't keep up with Air's footsteps? Could it be that Air used the ability to increase his own strength? Zephyr asked after a few seconds of silence. Once in the Holy Land Marijoy, with the power of 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Air fought 4-5 elders alone and killed 3. Zephyr wondered if Air had used the power of 10 Tails Jinchuriki again. Otherwise, how could it be possible to defeat Garp and destroy the entire naval headquarters Marlins? No, Air didn't use a similar boosting ability similar to that of the Holy Land Marijoy battle, but Air also has many other abilities, and the power is terrifying. Sengoku shook his head slightly and explained. If Air used the power of 10 Tails Jinchuriki to defeat them. This is not surprising, but right now, Air isn't drawing on that power. Instead, he defeated Garp by relying on the other abilities of his master. Hearing Sengoku's words, many Marines fell into a deep silence. If Air could have defeated Garp without the power of 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Then when he used 10 Tails Jinchuriki and became Sage of Six Paths. How terrifying will his power will be? Thinking of this, many Marines suddenly felt cold on their backs, and their hairs stood upside down. Damn, I can't understand more and more now. Why did Marijoy in the Holy Land let air go? Zephyr couldn't help clenching his fists and said angrily. The air of that year, although showing extremely terrifying power. But Im's appearance directly tied with air. At this time, a few of them joined the battlefield. If he joins forces with Im, he will definitely be able to take down air. Advertisement, but in the end, Im actually let air go. They didn't understand at all why I am doing this. Until now, they still do not understand. Why did Im let air go, the infinitely growing monster living in this sea? Maybe air is a tricky being for us, but for her, not. Crane Hand figured out his chin, frowned, and expressed his opinion. Since the end of the Battle of Marijoy in the Holy Land, they have also taken from the mouths of the 5 elders. Get to know Im a little. I learned that the other party is a monster that has survived for 800 years. No one knows how terrifying the strength of these characters is. We really can't figure out the thoughts of such people. Garp sighed. Im in the end is a monster that has survived for 800 years. Naturally, their way of thinking is slightly different. No matter how 783 is said, it is not a person of the same era. For that existence, let's not discuss more now. What we should consider is how to deal with air in the future, and how to deal with Roger, the Pirate King, in a few days. 99 Kong reminded. It is useless to continue to speculate on Im's thoughts. The most pressing thing now is Roger's execution in a few days. And how to take down air's incredibly tough foe in the future. Hearing Kong's words, many Marines fell into a brief silence again. If Roger is executed, there will definitely be big pirates watching. And there's a good chance that air will be there too. Now, Garp, Sengoku, Kong have all been injured quite a bit. If you insist on executing Roger in a few days, then it is very likely that air and other big pirates caught the opportunity and attacked the Marine or something. I think it's better to discuss the plan with the world government to see if it needs to be postponed, or if there are other solutions, he suggested. It can only be done. Garp, Sengoku, Kong, and other surviving Marines. They all boarded the Marine battleship and headed to the Holy Land Marijoy to discuss the events that followed. As for the naval headquarters in Shanghai, they plan to talk about it later. Chapter 248 news release that shocked the world. Not long after they left, a ship appeared in this sea area. And standing on the bow is a man in the shape of a dove. He is none other than Morgans, one of the 6 underground kings of the future Dark World. The naval headquarters is full of Marine, sinking into the sea? Morgans stared at the sea in front of him, full of surprise and shock. Because in a few days, it will be the execution of One Piece Roger. And Morgans, in order to get some interesting news in advance. So I came to naval headquarters by boat to interview Marine. But now, he saw naval headquarters still in ruins, floating on the sea. Not only that, there are some meteorite fragments on the sea. It looks like it's been a battle, here. What happened? Naval headquarters was sunk. I really didn't expect that this place was attacked by someone who is so called to be able to do such a thing. 99. It is possible that the big pirates of the New World have joined forces, otherwise, it is impossible to sink naval headquarters. 35. Looking at the scene in front of them, countless people froze in place. No one thought that the naval headquarters would be sunk. This is the base camp of Marine Base. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed that such things would happen. I thought I could get some interesting information from Marine's mouth, but now it seems impossible. Yeah, the naval headquarters have already sunk. Who should we go to interview? Most were in shock at the sinking sea of naval headquarters, while some were. It is some lost in the sunken sea of naval headquarters. They couldn't get any interesting information from the interview with Marine. President Morgans, why don't we go back? Today is doomed to come back in vain, an intelligence officer reminded. Are you kidding me? With such a big news in front of us, you actually told me that our trip came back in vain? Although naval headquarters has sunk into the sea, but we don't know who did it, so even if the news is released, no one will believe it. Advertisement naval headquarters has indeed sunk into the sea, and the site is in ruins, revealing this astonishing fact. But the problem is, they don't even know who it is. If the news is released like this, the news of naval headquarters sinking to the world will be spread. Well, surely no one would believe it. After all, where is naval headquarters? This is Marine's home base. There are countless strong people inside. They don't even know who did it, they just released the news. Who would believe? We don't know now, but it won't be long before we know who did it, Morgans said with a sinister smile on the corner of his mouth. Hearing Morgan's words, the people behind him were immediately at a loss. According to the style of Marine's group, although there is no news that naval headquarters was attacked and sinking into the sea, but they will definitely issue a reward order for the relevant personnel. Next, we only need to pay attention to the latest bounty order they issued, and we will know that it was the big pirate of New World who sank Naval Headquarters, 35. Naval Headquarters symbolize their marine face. Being sunk so heavily, wouldn't they slap their own face if they released any news? So, they certainly won't release relevant news, but there will be a bounty for the big pirates involved in the battle to destroy Naval Headquarters. 2 days later, New World, an island. There are countless pirate battleships docked on the coast here. In terms of the number of battleships and the number of pirates, they are not inferior to the flying pirates of the Golden Lion. It is even several times more than the battleships of the Flying Sky Pirates and the number of pirates. These pirates are from the three men of John, Ochaku, and Silver Axe. At this time, in the center of the island, inside a hall, Ochaku, John, and Silver Axe sat together, discussing some plans. Take. Tread. Tread. At this moment, there was a burst of hurried footsteps outside the hall. I saw a few pirates, panting heavily, holding a bounty and a newspaper in their hands, and came to the door. Advertisement. You guys, what are you doing in such a hurry? Silver Axe asked in a cold voice, frowning slightly. Silver. Captain Silver Axe, something big has happened in the sea recently, the pirate said quickly. Are you saying that Roger is going to be executed in East Blue Log Town? We already knew that. After the negotiation between Marine and the world government, in the end, they decided that the execution date would remain the same, and the execution place would still be in East Blue Log Town. And this news was released the day before. John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku have also seen the news. No, not the news Captain Silver Axe, but a bigger news. Better news? What? John demanded. The execution of One Piece Roger was enough to shock the whole world. Could it be that there is more important and influential news than Roger's execution? John didn't quite believe it. Several pirates quickly stepped forward and handed them the newspaper in their hands, unable to help swallowing a mouthful of water. This is the latest news release. I heard that several of John took over the newspapers. Before taking the newspaper, their faces were flat. But when they saw the headline of the newspaper, several people straight, Zhao Qianhao, broke out in a cold sweat. Air, Shiki, Kaido invade the Marlins and sink Naval Headquarters, 35. They looked surprised and read the headlines in the newspapers in disbelief. The existence of Marine is a gang that exists to check and balance the pirates of the whole world. Sink the world's top power, Naval Headquarters, not to mention why Air, Golden Lion, and Kaido joined forces. Although it is said that after the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, Marine's combat power has weakened a lot. And now, Air, Shiki, and Kaido alone have invaded Naval Headquarters. What a joke, this news can't be true, Silver Axe took a deep breath and said solemnly. But Marine is still the top power in the sea, but even if the three of them join forces to sink Naval Headquarters, this kind of thing is too far-fetched. Chapter 249 The plan of Three Fools. Air is strong, they admit. After all, when he was in the rocks, Air was the most talented monster in the rocks. After the Battle of the Valley of the Gods ended, he was hailed as the strongest pirate in the world. Even Roger, who has become the Pirate King, has never inherited the title of the strongest pirate. And Golden Lion, although he was also one of the main cadres of the Rox group, possesses terrifying strength. At the same time, they did admit that Kaido's power has developed well over the years, and his strength has not been what it used to be. But, even so, Silver Axe couldn't believe it. The three Air teamed up to sink Naval Headquarters. This news is published by the largest news agency in the New World at present, there should be no mistake, and their reward order has also been issued. Bounty order? Bring it here and let me see it, Silver Axe hurriedly asked. The pirates handed the reward order to the three of them. Kaido has a bounty of 4.5 billion Baileys, 99, Shiki has a bounty of 5.3 billion Baileys. Air bounty, 7 billion Baileys. Seeing Air's bounty, John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku's eyes widened instantly. They suspected that they were wrong, stared at the reward order and counted the amount again. 783. How is that possible? 7 billion Baileys. Silver Axe broke out in a cold sweat and couldn't help but gasped. Back in the day, the Rox, who had the strength to carry out the entire sea, were extremely dominant. The bounty never reached 7 billion Baileys, and Air's age has allowed his bounty to reach such a terrifying level. These guys, are they really invading Naval Headquarters? Originally, they absolutely did not believe the news that the three had invaded Naval Headquarters just now. But now, when they saw the three people's bounty orders, the truth and falsehood of the news, they have been clear in their hearts. After all, if the three hadn't invaded Naval Headquarters, how could their bounty have gone up so much? Especially for Air, the bounty has increased directly from the original 6 billion Bailey to 7 billion Bailey. A full billion Bailey. Advertisement. If it wasn't for an earth-shattering event, the further back the bounty was, the slower the increase would be. And Air can directly increase 1 billion Bailey, which is enough to prove what he has done. It has shocked everyone in Marine, and, added, world government. We still let this monster Air grow for too long. Ochaku took a deep breath. They've wanted to get rid of Air since the Battle of the Valley of the Gods. But unfortunately, was stopped by Golden Lion and others. Later in the sea, although they had the idea of attacking Air. But their priority is the development of their own power. So, until now they have never played against Air. The existence of this guy is bound to pose a huge threat to our future plans. Now that the three of us have formed an alliance, they are no less powerful than anyone else. I think it's time to attack the monster Air. John suggested with a serious look. Their plan is to wipe out all the big pirates in the New World. At that time, the three of them will use their abilities to see who can become the king of this sea. Now they have formed an alliance for a long time, and their forces have developed so far, and they already have countless strong men. John felt it was time to start the project, and the first enemy who launched the erasure plan is Air. We need to make a serious plan now, and in time we will let Air fall into this sea, and we can't let him continue to grow. Silver Axe agrees. They know better than anyone how talented Air is. Now Air can team up with Golden Lion, Kaido to sink naval headquarters. In the future, his strength will be even more terrifying. In order not to let Air continue to grow, they must erase Air during this time. At the same time, East Blue, a certain sea, there is a huge ship running here. And in one of the houses on the ship, a man with a scar on his face and a black cape was sitting on a chair working on documents. He is none other than the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Doragran. At this time, their ship was heading for Lobetown in East Blue. Advertisement Long was also interested in Roger's execution, so he planned to go over and watch it in person. Kakaka. At this time, the door was slowly opened, and a woman with a big face and a purple explosive head walked in. I saw a stack of reward orders and a newspaper in his hand. Is something wrong? Ivankov. Long asked with a slight look up at her. Look at this, Drago. Ivankov came to the dragon with a solemn look, and then handed him the reward and the newspaper. Long took the reward and the newspaper that she handed over, and his face instantly became solemn. Have the air monsters invaded naval headquarters? Dragon, a descendant of Garp, was also a member of Marine at the time. So he knew very well how terrifying the combat power of naval headquarters was. Despite the heavy losses at the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, the naval headquarters is still the most prominent force standing in this sea. Now, Air, Golden Lion, and Kaido can destroy naval headquarters. This news still made him a little unbelievable. After glancing at the newspaper, he set his sights on Air's reward. 7 billion Baileys. Long's forehead broke out in cold sweat, and he said in a bit of astonishment. This unprecedented amount of terrifying bounty is really the first time the dragon has seen. I think, Air, this monster, may be used by our revolutionary army as Dorag, Ivankov said solemnly. The purpose of their revolutionary army was to resist the world government and overthrow its rule. But they also know very well that it is only by the strength of their revolutionary army. It is extremely difficult to overthrow the world government. So they need help. In Ivankov's view, Air is likely to be a useful aid. She believed that monsters like Air must have some interest in overthrowing the world government. If you can get the help of monsters like Air, then the overthrow of the world government is just around the corner. As you said, this guy Air has caused trouble for Marine over and over again. He must be unaccustomed to Marine and the world government. If we can get his help, we will definitely be able to overthrow the world government in the future. Long Ping recovered his shocked emotions and agreed. Chapter 250 Lobetown, Roger's execution. So, do we still have to go to Lobetown to watch Roger's execution? Why don't we go directly to New World to find Air to discuss cooperation? Ivankov asked. Don't worry about Ivankov. If he's interested in cooperating with us, it's the same when we go to him. Besides, Air is very likely to be interested in Roger's execution. If I can meet him, I will personally discuss cooperation with him. Long shook his head slightly. Roger is, after all, a man of the same era as Air. It was the first to arrive at the final island, and Rafter became the pirate king of the New World. For the execution of such characters, Long felt that Air would also be interested. So there's a good chance he'll meet Air in Lobetown. At that time, you can negotiate with Air to overthrow the cooperation of the world government. Understood. A few days later, Lobetown, port location. I saw a small boat slowly approaching the port, and then docked at the shore. It's already here, Mr. Air. Nagley, who was sailing, looked back at Air, who was sleeping soundly. Is it finally here? Hearing this, Air opened his eyes slightly and stretched. Then jumped from the boat and came to the island. And Nagley followed behind him. Although, Air didn't care about Roger's death. But anyway, this is also the last moment of One Piece Roger. As the execution is approaching, Air also wants to see with his own eyes Roger's end. Air and Nagli soon came to the execution stand. It can be seen that before the execution stand, it was already overcrowded at this time. Due to the news of Roger's execution, the news spread throughout the world in a very short time. Today, countless people from all over the world arrive at Logue Town. Doflamingo, who had Kabuto's hands in the crowd, noticed Air's figure and was stunned for a moment, then smiled strangely. Fur. New World's strongest pirate, Air with a bounty of 7 billion Baileys? He. The execution of One Piece Roger, are you even interested in such characters? Moria said. Although Roger was crowned with the title of One Piece advertisement, but he gets the title. It was entirely because he was the first to arrive at the final island, so he was crowned. If the title of One Piece is based on the strength of Guan Yu, then this title is definitely Air. After all, the whole world is now spread all over the world. Air, Kaido, Golden Lion invaded naval headquarters and sank the Marin Many. His bounty has reached an astonishing 7 billion Bailey. Air. Among the crowd, Hawkeye also noticed Air, as well as the blade on Air's waist. Although Hawkeye is young at this time, he has already touched the swordsmanship of the great swordsman. At this time, he is very interested in swordsmanship experts, such as Air. Interesting, is it Air who is dubbed the strongest in the world? Crocodile crossed his arms in front of his chest and stared at Air with a cigar in his mouth. Air is undoubtedly the most eye-catching existence in the current Logue Town. His appearance directly attracted the attention of countless people. Not many people dared to get too close to him, and they all gave way. This also allows the pirates in the crowd to see his figure at a glance. Sure enough, Air. Long also noticed Air with a smile on the corner of his mouth. He had guessed that Air would be interested in today's execution. Now, he really met Air in Logue Town, however, he has not yet chosen to talk to Air. I want to wait until Roger is executed before talking and cooperating with Air. In the crowd at this time, Air was noticed by a man in a red shirt with an umbrella in his hand. Stared at him for a while, then smiled slightly. Interesting, I can't see through you, Air. He is none other than Lonely Red, Earl Red. With just one person, Whitebeard and Roger are on an equal footing. It's a very scary existence, and his strongest ability is observation haki. Possess the ability to see through people's hearts and predict the future. Advertisement, however, when he set his sights on Air. But he found himself, he couldn't see through Air's heart. 0. For flowers katakana middle dot it seems that there is an invisible barrier that blocks his ability, so that he only sees a blank space. Air, on the other hand, did not pay attention to the discussions and gazes of the people around him. Instead, he fixed his gaze on Roger, who was kneeling on the execution platform, dozing off. I have to say, Roger's heart is still very big. It was obvious that he was about to be executed, but there was no trace of fear on his face at this time. Even openly dozed off. After glancing at the execution platform, Air also noticed the many Marines standing beside the execution platform. Garp, Sengoku, Zephyr, Crane, Kong, Akainu, Kizaru, Aokiji. And a strange man with a mask on his face. If nothing else, he should be the captain of the CPO organization. Oh, has the injury recovered Garp? Air glanced at Garp and the others with a little surprise. He had just hit Garp hard at naval headquarters the other day. Today, Garp has no injuries at all, not even any bandages. It stands to reason that no matter how special the physique of Garp and others is, it should take a long time to recover. When Air noticed Garp, Garp and others also noticed Air, who was the most visible in the crowd. Damn, did this guy Air come to join in the fun? Garp frowned slightly, clenched his fists and said solemnly. Although Garp and others were seriously injured, they were under the devil fruit that focused on healing. Don't be impulsive, Garp. There are not a few pirates present today. Even if Air comes, we can't have a conflict with him. Our purpose today is just to execute the Pirate King Roger. 9. It is the devil fruit eaten by the little human princess man Shirley in the original Dressrosa. That's because the Holy Land Marijoy has the ability to eat the healing fruit. The reason Garp et al.'s injuries recovered so quickly. Several people's injuries also recovered immediately. Sengoku saw that Garp clenched his fists and reminded him quickly. This guy Air, we will get rid of him sooner or later, but not now, Garp. Don't forget that Roger turned himself in. Beg. Healing fruit has a strong healing ability. Chapter 251 Golden Lion Surprise Attack, please order all. Although we can execute Roger today, that's only if he doesn't resist. Now to attack Air. With the relationship between Roger and Air, he is likely to break free from the handcuffs and turn back, which is very bad for us. Zephyr also reminded. Roger has an unusual relationship with Air, which the Marines are well aware of. After all, in the Valley of the Gods, it was Roger who helped Air stop the two admirals from joining forces. If Air is really attacked at this time, there is no doubt that Roger will definitely go against the water. At the same time, Roger's pirate group will join the battle together. For them, this is tantamount to starting an unnecessary war. Even if you want to attack Air, at least you have to wait until Roger is beheaded. Garp. Crane patted his shoulder and said seriously. Of course I know about the 7/8 three things. Garp loosened his clenched fists and stared at Air with both eyes. Although he was reckless and impulsive, he was also very clear at this time. Until Roger is still alive, Air must not be attacked. Minutes passed by. Soon, it was morning, and it was the time when Roger was about to be beheaded. Tread. 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 I saw a few executioners with knives under the execution platform. Slowly walked up to the execution platform and then came to Roger's side. Hearing the footsteps around him, Roger opened his eyes slightly. Although he was about to be executed, there was no trace of fear on Roger's face, but a smile on his face. Face your own death calmly. R.O., Captain Roger. Seeing that Roger was about to be executed, Buggy in the audience burst into tears. Although the red hair did not speak, he pressed his straw hat tightly, not daring to cry silently while watching the scene in front of him. Your life is over too soon, Roger. Rayleigh in the audience looked at Roger, who was about to be executed, and couldn't help sighing. Roger is the man who became One Piece. It stands to reason that his legend and adventure have just begun. But unfortunately, Roger was terminally ill. An incurable disease. Advertisement. This also led to the fact that Roger's age was running out of time. If you are not terminally ill, I believe our Roger Pirates will be happy in this sea for a long time, Roger. Jabba took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Roger was about to be executed, and the Roger Pirates were disbanded long ago. The place that once belonged to them has disappeared. In the future, these companions will not be able to stay together all the time. Instead, we need to part ways. Has it finally begun? Roger's execution? Doflamingo put his hands on Kabuto and smiled. He. The short era about Roger has come to an end, the future belongs to us. Moria laughed oddly. It's a pity not to be able to fight with a man like you, Roger. Hawkeye said with his arms crossed on his chest. Hawkeye could naturally see that Roger was a man who had cultivated swordsmanship to the pinnacle level. And as a strong swordsman, he was unable to fight against such a top swordsman in person. It really made him feel a little sorry. Under the execution stand, Kong glanced at the crowd of onlookers and then shouted at the executioner. Execution. Yes. The two executioners standing on the execution platform, upon hearing Kong's words, quickly raised their long knives and slashed at Roger. The era of Roger is coming to an end, seeing that the blade is about to fall. Suddenly a voice came from the sky, Slashwave. As this voice fell, I saw two terrifying sword-shi rushing from mid-air. Before the two executioners could react, their bodies were cut in half and they died on the spot. This sudden situation shocked the entire Logue town. Air couldn't help but look up in the sky. I saw a man with long blonde hair holding a cigar in his mouth, rushing straight to the execution platform. Shiki. Air was quite surprised. He didn't expect that when Roger was about to be executed, the Golden Lion would come to save him. It has to be said that this guy Golden Lion still attaches great importance to friendship. Advertisement. We sympathize with strong men like Roger. After he learned the news of Roger's execution, in order to verify the true or false of this amazing fact, directly alone, broke into the naval headquarters. This was followed by a riot at naval headquarters with Air Kaido. The Golden Lion also made a request for Air to join him and invade Impel Down to rescue Roger. But for this request, Air naturally refused, and Air thought that Golden Lion had given up on saving Roger. But I didn't expect that on the day of execution, Roger would be beheaded at this critical moment. The Golden Lion suddenly appeared, trying to save Roger. Why is this guy Shiki here? Rayleigh was equally bewildered. Looking at Shiki's actions, could it be that he wanted to interfere with this execution and take Roger away? Jabba on the side said in surprise. If Roger was arrested, the Golden Lion would naturally be extremely excited about this move. Moreover, Dang Dang will fully assist the Golden Lion and snatch Roger. But the problem is, Roger turned himself in. Why is the Golden Lion running here? Shiki. Not only was Air and the others a little surprised that the Golden Lion would come, Marine and the others were also stunned when they saw this scene. Damn, is this guy trying to take Roger? Garp frowned and snorted coldly. This B***************** D is really a troublesome enemy. He invaded our naval headquarters first, but now he wants to take Vice Admiral Roger away in our hands, Kong said with murderous intent in his eyes. Shortly before 4.3, the Golden Lion invaded naval headquarters, trying to get them to hand Roger over. Now, Roger's execution has begun. At this time, the Golden Lion suddenly ran out and made trouble. Be careful, this guy Shiki is probably not alone, maybe. Air guys also have the idea of hijacking Roger and taking him away, he reminded. The original naval headquarters was invaded by Air, Kaido, and Golden Lion. Today, Air is still in the audience watching. The Golden Lion suddenly appeared and interfered with the execution and wanted to take Roger away. This made Horton feel bad, and he thought the Golden Lion might end up with the Air tradition. To hijack this execution today, these troublesome pirates, what a headache, Akainu looked fierce and said coldly. Chapter 252 The two people who love each other, seeking full order. On the execution platform, Golden Lion used the ability of Lion Fruit to reach Roger at an extremely fast speed. Ha ha ha. Shiki, why are you here? Roger, who was kneeling on the execution platform, laughed when he saw the visitor. He had never thought of it, that Golden Lion, who had tried his best to kill him back then. Now he would take such a big risk to save him. You know, there are quite a few Marines present today. Garp, Sengoku, Zephyr, Crane, Kong, Akainu, Kizaru, Aokiji, and the captains from the World Government CPO organization, all present. Golden Lion made such a move, it can be described as taking an extremely huge risk. One careless, Golden Lion will die here, it's so ugly. Roger, you were arrested by Marine as the Pirate King, and now you're going to be executed in the weakest East Blue, aren't you angry? You're still kneeling here and smirking. 99. The Golden Lion yelled at Roger. Roger, but he spent his whole life trying to recruit and kill men. He has tried countless times and made countless plans. 03. But every action was resolved by Roger for various reasons. But it is like this, it is extremely difficult to kill, and a strong person with incomparable top combat power. Now being arrested by Marine and facing the humiliation of being executed in East Blue. Although the Golden Lion was inside the naval headquarters at the time. Have heard what Sengoku said. The execution was in East Blue Logue Town, which was chosen by Roger himself, but the Golden Lion must not believe it. It's a pity, but my adventure is over, Shiki. Roger sighed. Why didn't he want to continue to start a new adventure in this sea? With his group of companions, laughing and laughing every day. But he is terminally ill and has no cure. The adventure is over. What a joke, I can't allow a man like you to die here. You can only die at my hands. I'll take you out, Roger. In the future, the two of us will meet again on the sea, and then I will kill you with your own hands, not let you die at the hands of Marine. 99. Golden Lion directly slashed Roger's shackles with a knife and wanted to take him away. Roger stood up and shook his head slightly. Shiki, I wasn't arrested by Marine, I surrendered. What did you say? When Golden Lion heard this answer, he froze in place. Advertisement, surrender yourself. What a joke, Roger as One Piece would turn himself in? I'm terminally ill, and I don't have much time left. Even if I won't be executed today, I won't have a few days to live. Roger raised his head slightly, looked at the white clouds in the sky, and sighed without hesitation. Hey, Roger, are you kidding me? You have a terminal illness? Golden Lion's pupils contracted violently, and the cigar also blurted out from his mouth and fell to the ground. He never thought that Roger, who had fought with him for many years, had a terminal illness. This amazing news made Golden Lion unable to calm down for a long time. Shiki. At this moment, Kong suddenly appeared behind Golden Lion. He clenched his fists and used all his strength to attack the Golden Lion. Right at this critical moment, Roger suddenly pulled out the ace, the supreme knife from his waist, and collided with Kong's fist. The terrifying momentum, centered on the two of them, shook directly in all directions. The execution platform, under the collision of the two, directly shattered and collapsed. The scene suddenly set off a sky of smoke and dust. Roger, what do you guys mean? Kong's forehead appeared blue veins and roared at him. If it weren't for Roger at the crucial moment, helping the Golden Lion block his punch. Otherwise, with the Golden Lion defenseless, his punch can definitely give Golden Lion a heavy blow. Roger, are you trying to resist today's execution? Zephyr also rushed to Kong's side quickly, his eyes were full of killing intent, staring at Roger and questioning. Do you think that even if you resist the execution today, you can escape from our group? Akainu snorted coldly. Today's execution platform, the top combat power of their naval headquarters is all present. Moreover, there is also the captain from the World Government CPO organization. Even if Roger wanted to resist the execution today, they had to take Roger down. After all, the news of Roger's execution has spread all over the world. Countless franchises of the New World are looking forward to the fall of Roger, the Pirate King. Advertisement. And now, if you let Roger escape, then the majesty of their marines can be said to be directly pulled to the lowest point. I don't want to resist today's execution, but I have one condition. What conditions? Let Shiki go. Today, Golden Lion, at such a huge risk of his life, came over and wanted to save him. This point, Roger was especially moved by seeing it. So before being executed, he has to negotiate with Marine to let the Golden Lion go. What a joke, this guy dares to interfere with the execution today, he is completely challenging our Marine's majesty. Do you think we will let him go? The name of justice cannot be sullied, 35 Akainu shouted. The Golden Lion, who dared to stand in front of the top powerhouses in their entire naval headquarters, wanted to take Roger. This move completely ignored them. Marine. Think back to the day before. The Golden Lion also teamed up with Air and Kaido to destroy the naval headquarters. For all the deeds done by Golden Lion 783, Akainu was really angry to the extreme. Because in his opinion, the Golden Lion completely ignored their Marine. Totally trampling on the justice that belongs to their Marine. If I don't let him go, today, I won't be obediently cooperating with the execution. There was a smile on the corner of Roger's mouth, and he held the supreme knife and stared at the crowd in front of him. What if you don't cooperate? You are immortal Roger today, Akainu sneered. The moment Akainu's words fell, Kong looked serious. We agree to your request, so let the execution continue now. I believe that the group of big pirates will join in the fun too. This is not a good thing for them. Marshal Kong, are we going to let this guy Shiki do his mischief today and still survive? Akainu said with dissatisfaction. Almost all the pirates under the Roger Pirates are also there. And the monster Air. Now in this Logue town scene, not only Roger and Golden Lion are the two big pirates. If they fight with Roger and Golden Lion, in addition, there are other big pirates from New World. Don't forget what our purpose is today, Sakazuki. All actions must be done after Roger is executed. Chapter 253 The confrontation between the world's strongest pirate and the Pirate King. Even if they wanted to kill the Golden Lion here, that is definitely not the direct action now, at the very least, until Roger is executed. Damn. Akainu clenched his fists and said very unhappy. Although he really wanted to directly attack the group of B**************** D pirates in front of him. However, now he's just a little Marine Vice Admiral. He still dared not disobey the orders of Marine Marshal Kong. Then, let the execution continue, Roger. Although I really want to continue the execution, the sword has already been drawn, and it would be too boring to usher in the final ending without going through the last battle. 35. Roger smiled slightly. What do you mean? Hearing this, Kong's face instantly darkened. So, now, do you want to be our enemy before you die, Roger? Garp said solemnly. That's not the case. The opponent I want in the last battle is not you. Who is it? Air. The words fell, and Roger set his eyes on Air in the crowd. Hearing Roger's words, many Marines were stunned. I thought it was them that Roger wanted the last fight. But what they didn't expect was that his target was Air. Kong was silent for a few seconds. Since you want to have a fight with Air right before your execution, we'll do what you want, Roger. Roger fights Air, and it doesn't hurt for their Marines. After all, if Roger could fight Air, Air's stamina would be consumed, or Air would be injured. After the execution of Roger later, they also have a chance to take Air. Therefore, Kong did not choose to block Roger's move to challenge Air. Since they want to fight, let them fight. Anyway, both are pirates. Roger. Golden Lion, who had been silent for a long time, came back to his senses and gave Roger a deep look. Although I wanted to say something, I finally swallowed when it got to my mouth. Advertisement Roger's death was inevitable. No matter what he said, it couldn't change the outcome of Roger's death today. I'm honored to be born in the same era as you, Shiki. Roger patted Golden Lion on the shoulder and smiled. Although the two are hostile, they both want to kill each other. But in the same way, both of them are sympathetic to each other. Golden Lion risked his life to save him, and now he has rescued the Golden Lion from Marine. The words fell, and Roger slowly approached Air. Many people along the way saw Roger and moved out of the way. Remember our previous agreement, Air. Next time we meet, we too have to fight hard. Roger pointed at Air with a knife and smiled. At the end of the Battle of Atwal, Roger made an appointment with Air. Let's meet up next time. Today is Roger's last day. And before he died, he met Air in this Logue town. Naturally, he also has to grasp the last time and fight against Air in person. I remember the promise, but are you sure you want to fight me, Roger? You are not my opponent, Air said calmly. Roger's strength is indeed very strong. After all, he is the first to arrive at the final island, Rafter. The man who became One Piece. However, Roger's strength is still not enough in front of Air. You know, since the end of the Battle of Advor that year, Air inherited the physique of Ace Kano. Every morning, near noon, at noon. Air's strength will be greatly improved. Now, the time is already in the morning, and it will be close to noon. Air's strength has improved a lot compared to his normal state. Now Roger's strength, in front of him, is really not enough to see. Ha ha ha. This kind of thing, you have to fight it before you know it, Air, Roger laughed. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you, Roger. Air didn't say no to Roger's last-ditch request for a final fight. Because no matter what, he also made an agreement with Roger back then. Since Roger wants to play a good game before he dies. Advertisement naturally, he also wants to fulfill Roger's wish. Are you going to fight? The battle between Air, the strongest monster in the New World, and Roger, the Pirate King, Moria said excitedly. Air and Roger, this is the legend of the sea. On weekdays, it is extremely difficult to meet these two people. Now, in this Logue town, to witness the battle of the two legends with my own eyes, it is impossible to say that I am not excited. Fur. It's really interesting. Who will be the winner of this battle? Dophiran put his hands on Kabuto and stared at the two with interest. Is it about to start? The battle between the two great swordsmen occupying the top of the world? Hawkeye said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. As a swordsman, he is very interested in swordsmanship. Now, I can personally witness the confrontation between the two legendary great swordsmen. He was also fully focused at this time. Interesting, let me see what kind of strength you have, Air. The Red Earl said with his arms crossed in front of his chest. He can read, write, and see all the hearts of all people in the whole world. But only a man like Air, no matter how he used his abilities, could not see through Air's heart at all. For this kind of alternative, the Red Earl is naturally looking forward to it. What is the strength of Air? Central of Logue Town. Air and Roger face each other. In the area within a radius of tens of meters, no one is stagnant, and all are far away. Although the battle has not yet started, but they are very clear. This battle between the two must be the world's top-level battle. The momentum generated by the battle between the two must be divided by 10, Zhao Qianhao, terrifying. Therefore, no one dared to approach, for fear of being accidentally injured by the attack of the two. Choke. Air suddenly pulled out the supreme sword from his waist and stared at Roger calmly. Come on, Air. Roger's words fell, and he stopped talking nonsense. He quickly charged towards Air with the blade in hand. As for Roger's attack, Air was naturally not wrong at all. His footsteps exploded and he approached Roger. The speed of the two was extremely fast, and even an afterimage flashed through the air. In an instant, the figures of the two collided with each other. Then the blade is wrapped around the armed color and conqueror's hockey at the same time, and the knife is released at the same time. Boom! The blades of the two have not yet collided. An incomparably terrifying momentum centered on the two of them swayed hundreds of meters away. The momentum of the two was astonishing, and the power generated by the confrontation gave countless people present a huge sense of oppression. Chapter 254 Roger, who was knocked into the air, shocked the audience's strength. Please order. The originally sunny sky started with the battle between the two. The weather was gradually gloomy, with dark clouds and lightning flashing. A pirate who was suddenly present pointed to the sky and said in surprise. You see, the sky is cracked. It can be seen that the high-altitude dark clouds tore apart from the middle and spread to the end of the sky. Not only that, the two dark clouds torn apart are constantly twisting and forming a vortex. Did the blade not collide, but burst out with such power? Is it the legendary Conqueror's confrontation? Doflamingo frowned slightly, and his eyes stared at the two of them. Doflamingo, also the owner of Conqueror's Hockey, so he has studied the power of Conqueror's Hockey. I have learned from books that the attack of Conqueror's Entanglement will not be touched. But if you want Master Conqueror's Entanglement, at least you have to let Conqueror's Hockey practice to the advanced level. Let Doflamingo think that he is talented, but the Conquerors that he masters now is only the most basic. If you want the power of Master Conqueror's Entanglement, you don't even know that you need to go to the Year of the Monkey. And for Conqueror's Hockey, mastered by Air and Roger, Doflamingo feels that the Conquerors of the 783 and 783 are absolutely top-notch. Interesting, does Conquerors meet? The Red Earl smiled slightly, resting his chin in his hand. He. It's amazing power. Whether it's Air or Roger, these two are monsters at the top of the world. In today's battle, if only one person died. Moria Strange laughed. As a person with shadow fruit ability, his favorite is to collect the corpses of the strong. And cut off the shadow of the strong for your own use. At this moment, he couldn't help thinking about the bodies of Air and Roger. If it is made into a zombie, how powerful it will be. Logue Town, the center of the battlefield. The blades of Air and Roger collided countless times. The aura of the two of them was incomparably astonishing, as fierce as a raging tiger. Almost in the blink of an eye, the blades of the two clashed for dozens of meters. Ordinary pirates, watching this battle, can only see flashes of swords, lights and swords. It was impossible to see how the two of them swung their knives. It's so refreshing to have a good fight with you before dying, Air. Roger laughed while launching his offensive. Advertisement over the years, he and his crew have basically been looking for the historical text. Therefore, Roger has not had a fight with a swordsman for a while. Today's confrontation with Air reminded him of the blood of the battle. But this shouldn't be your full strength, Air. Don't reserve your strength to cater to my offensive, just fight as much as you like, because this is my last battle, let me taste it in you. It's the taste of defeat. Although it seems to others, the offensive of the two is incomparably fast, and the fight is indistinguishable and comparable. It seems that the strength of the two is almost equal. But only Roger in the battle could feel it. In this battle, Air did not use all his strength, but has been catering to his offensive. The current Roger in this world does not think that he is not weaker than others. But Air is the only one who he didn't think he could surpass until now. In this final battle that belongs to him, he wants to taste defeat in Air. Really? Then I'll do what you want, Roger. Air heard the words and no longer retained his strength. An extremely fast attack was launched against Roger. In terms of swordsmanship, Conqueror's Hockey's accomplishments, Roger is not much weaker than Air. But there is a big gap between the two, and that is the gap in physical skills. Because of the sage body, even Air doesn't practice physique very much. But his physical skills are almost unmatched in this world. Plus, Air once got Ace Kano's physique. Whenever the time reaches the morning or noon, the strength will be greatly improved. The current strength is precisely in the morning, and it is already approaching noon. Therefore, the current Air's strength is much stronger than in the normal state. Facing Air's incomparably fast attack, Roger's forehead was startled with a cold sweat. Every encounter with Air, Roger can feel the huge pressure from Air. God falls. Roger jerked backwards. Advertisement. He then clenched the blade with both hands, charged up his footsteps, and approached Air with extreme speed. His speed was so fast that afterimages could be seen in the air, and his body showed an incomparably terrifying aura. That invisible aura even transformed into a blue dragon visible to the naked eye. He was opening his mouth with blood, and his sharp claws were pounced on Air. Amazing. In the face of Roger's knife, Air was not too careless. Armor color and Conqueror's Hockey are wrapped around the blade, and his Hockey is poured into the blade. The blade instantly exudes a black gas that is visible to the naked eye. Boom boom. The blades of the two have not yet collided. The ground plane was torn apart directly, as if someone had dropped a giant bomb. There was a boundless momentum, and ripples swayed in all directions. The buildings in the area within a radius of 100 meters were directly torn apart by the offensive of the two men. On the ground level, there are bottomless gaps, like a rift. From the two of them as the center, gray smoke and dust rising to a height of 100 meters rose to the surrounding. With the smoke and dust that covered the sky and the sun slowly dissipated. Everyone can see. The ground level in the area of tens of meters in the circle where the two are located has dropped nearly 10 meters deep. The strength is good, but it's still short of heat, Roger. Falling with Air's voice. The force of his arms, the terrifying sense of oppression, shrouded Roger directly. Despite Roger's resistance, his strength was too terrifying. Boom. I saw Roger's body, like a meteor, moving backwards quickly. It moved a distance of 100 meters, and smashed countless buildings along the way. Finally hit a tall building, the tall building collapsed into ruins, and Roger was covered under him. Come on. Just kidding, One Piece Roger isn't Air's opponent? I thought that the strength of these two monsters was almost the same, but now, Roger was actually kicked out. Chapter 255. The time is approaching noon, and the strength has skyrocketed, please complete the order. Air, known as the strongest monster in the New World, is more terrifying than Roger, the king of pirates. This guy can be called the Pirate King, because his strength can definitely defeat all the pirates and become the absolute king. The many pirates watching the battle around were shocked when they saw the scene in front of them. Before the fight, everyone thought that the strength of Air and Roger should be almost the same. After all, both of them are at the top of the sea and enjoy great reputation as the big pirates. But as the battle unfolded, Air knocked Roger into the air. The difference in strength is obvious. In the crowd, Rayleigh was startled with cold sweat on his forehead, folded his hands on his chest, and couldn't help sighing. You guy, you're such a monster as ever, Air. Since Air defeated the Golden Lion at the Battle of Adver. Rayleigh knew that Air's strength has almost surpassed all pirates in this world. However, Roger's progress has been tremendous since that battle. But even so, it is still not Air's opponent. Even after the two fought for a moment, Roger was knocked out. Is this guy stronger than Roger? Bullet, who was standing beside him, said in disbelief. Bullet joined the Roger Pirates relatively late, so he didn't watch the Battle of Advor with his own eyes. Although he heard a lot of legends about Air in the sea. It was also learned from Roger's mouth that Air is the strongest pirate in this sea. But he didn't believe it before, because in his opinion, Roger is the strongest. And the reason he joined the Roger Pirates was precisely because he wanted to defeat a man like Roger. But now, air appeared before his eyes. The strength shown is even stronger than Roger, who he wanted to catch up with all his life. It should be the first time you meet Air, Bullet. Roger has already told you that the strongest pirate in this sea is not him, but Air. Today, it wouldn't be surprising if Roger lost to Air. Jabba glanced at Bullet and reminded, the original Bullet, after joining their Roger Pirates. The one who has been clamoring all the time, has to defeat the strongest existence in this sea, Roger. And Roger has told him several times, he is not the strongest. But Bullet never believed it. Advertisement now, see the battle in front of you. Jabba felt that Bullet had believed what Roger had said. Air is the strongest existence in this sea. Have a good look at the strength of this monster Air, Bullet. 35 Rayleigh patted his shoulder. Air? From now on. You're my target. Bullet looked at Air with a serious look with his eyes full of fighting intent. Bullet can almost be said to be the most dazzling rookie talent in the New World today. Although the current Bullet is young, his strength is extremely terrifying. Even to a draw with a character like Rayleigh, of the entire Roger Pirates, only Roger can defeat him. And Bullet, naturally, has great confidence in his talent. Even the current Roger, Air is countless times stronger than him. But, sooner or later, he will catch up to Air and defeat him. This is now, Bullet's epitaph is engraved in his heart. Logetown, among the ruins. Crash! Roger pushed away the rubble that was covering his body and patted the dust on his body. Although Air's blow was extremely terrifying, most of the momentum was blocked by the blade in his hand. So now he is not seriously injured. Do you want to continue, Roger? Air appeared in front of Roger and asked. Ha ha ha. Of course I will continue, Air, but I intend to taste defeat from you. The battle has just begun, and I haven't lost yet, Roger laughed. Before dying, he can fight against such a powerful powerhouse as Air. At this time, Roger was still very excited. My strength will be stronger in the future, Air said calmly. Oh, wasn't it your full strength just now? Roger frowned slightly when he heard this. The terrifying combat power Air showed just now was enough to knock him out. He thought, just now was Air's full strength. 0, ask for flowers. Unexpectedly, Air said this again, advertisement, the time, it's almost noon. Air raised his head slightly, his eyes penetrated the dark clouds swirling in the sky, and looked directly at the sun beyond the dark clouds. Dropped with Air's voice. I saw that Air's body has grown a lot, from the original height of nearly 3 meters. It has grown to about 4 meters, now Air's body is taller than Akainu and others. After getting bigger, the aura conveyed by Air became even more terrifying. The reason for this is that Air inherited Ace Kano's physique. Whenever the time arrives, morning, near noon, on the occasion of noon, strength and physique will change. Of course, Air can also manipulate his body size and not get bigger because of his physique. UB********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** surprise and the amazing change in his aura. At this point, Roger was sweating coldly on his back. Air just now has the strength to surpass him. Now, the strength has been strengthened again. How terrifying Air's offensive will be now, even Roger has a hard time guessing. Although he was surprised, Roger did not stop the fight. Come on, Air. The words fell, and Roger's footsteps exploded, waving the blade in his hand, and quickly slashed towards Air. Godfall, Mote Slash. After Air inherited Ace Kano's physique, it also inherited its magic power from the sun. I saw Air pouring magic power into the blade. Above the blade, there was a ray of light like the sun, and a terrifying aura rushed towards Roger. Shoo! Air held the Zanshin and slashed with one knife. The terrifying sword Chi, carrying the overwhelming power to destroy the world, charged towards Roger. So strong. Feeling this terrifying boundless sword energy, Roger suddenly stood upside down and his back became cold. He had already used observation hockey in advance, predicting how terrifying the power of this knife would be. If it is hard attached, he will be severely injured. Roger hurriedly put away the knife, a sideways dodging Air's sword begging. Chapter 256. It's just like the rocks in the battle. Boom. The ground in front of Air was completely torn apart by the sword energy. The terrifying sword energy, carrying endless destructive power, spread directly to a distance of 1,000 meters. Along the way, endless sand and gravel flew into the air. Countless buildings, under the aura of Air's sword, were as fragile as paper and were directly destroyed into ruins. The whole of Logue Town. Everyone could feel a strong sense of shock, as if an unprecedented earthquake had occurred. Many watching pirates even fell directly to the ground because the vibration frequency was too high. The entire Logue Town was suddenly filled with smoke and dust, covering the sky and the sun. As the smoke and dust slowly dissipated, everyone could see that all the buildings within a kilometer in front of Air's eyes were destroyed. And there is a bottomless rift valley. 783. If you listen carefully, you can even hear the sound of the ocean currents under the rift valley. Come on. Just kidding, Air, the monster's knife, directly slashed thousands of meters away? Is this guy really human? He has such terrifying strength? Damn it, he really deserves to be the man named the strongest pirate in the world. How can I feel that Roger is not enough in front of him? Looking at the scene in front of them, countless people were directly shocked on the spot. Although this knife was not cut on them, but they can feel a terrifying force that is approaching Tianlingai, making their souls tremble. Did a knife almost go through Logue Town? This guy is a monster. A trace of cold sweat appeared on Doflamingo's forehead, a little surprised. In his ear, he could vaguely hear the sound of the ocean current coming from the Great Rift Valley in front of him. Although Air's knife did not completely penetrate Logue Town. However, from the hole, it is estimated that there are only a few meters of depth left. Is this the strength of the world's top swordsman? No, it should be the world's #1 swordsman. Hawkeye stared at Air and said. As a strong swordsman, he is particularly aware of how terrifying Air's knife was just now. Looking at the scene in front of Zephyr, he couldn't help but take a deep breath and said solemnly. No wonder you lost to him, Garp. Advertisement. Regardless of Garp's current strength, he has almost surpassed most of the powerhouses in the sea. But Air's strength can almost be said to surpass everyone in the entire sea. Originally they were still planning to have Roger and Air fight. See if you can drain Air's stamina, or hurt Air. But now it seems that this idea is estimated to be difficult to realize. It seems that there is no way to deal with the monster Air today, and we need to think about his plans in the long run, Kong said seriously. With Air's terrifying and boundless strength, even against Roger, I believe the battle will be over soon. In this way, Roger can't consume Air's physical strength at all, and it is even more difficult to injure him. As such, after Roger is executed, if they rashly attack Air, I believe other pirates will not stand by. After all, pirates and pirates are enemies, but the common enemy among pirates is their marine. Damn it, it would have been great if we could erase Air in the Valley of the Gods. That was the closest we could get to erasing Air, but unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end. Sengoku couldn't help but sighed. At the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, when Air defeated Kong. Physical strength and hockey, almost exhausted. At this time, if they can have a surplus of strong men, they can deal with Air. I'm afraid that in that battle, Air can be killed. Unfortunately, they all have their own enemies. Marine Double Admiral was also stopped by the Roger Pirates. As a result, Air successfully survived from the Valley of the Gods. Today, it still grows to such an unmanageable level as it is today. Center of the battlefield. Air held Zan Shen and calmly glanced at Roger Road, who was standing not far away. Did you escape? If Roger hadn't evaded this knife, there was no doubt that the other party would have been severely injured. It's a pity that Roger's observation hockey is terrifying, predicting the future a few seconds in advance. Advertisement dodged the near-fatal blow. You guy, your strength has improved a lot, Roger couldn't help but gasped. This is not the strongest state. Do you want to continue, Roger? If you continue to fight, you may not only lose, but may die in my hands. Now the time is only close to noon, and it has not really reached noon. When the minute of noon arrives, Air's strength will skyrocket several times, and it has the power to completely destroy the world. Now Roger has been unable to compete with his strength. If it is delayed until noon, let alone, on my own, it's really hard to compete with you, Air. 39. Rayleigh, Jabba. Roger shouted. As his voice fell, Rayleigh and Jabba in the crowd quickly appeared on either side of Roger. Fighting side by side again, Roger. 35. Rayleigh smiled. It's been a long time since we fought against an enemy together. Recalling the last time the three of us fought side by side, it was against Rox in the Valley of the Gods. Jabba couldn't help but sigh. Although since the end of the Valley of the Gods battle, the three of them have also encountered many powerful pirates in the sea. But so far, no one pirate is qualified to let the three of them join forces to deal with it. Ha ha ha. Before I die, let you accompany me to the last battle, Rayleigh, Jabba. Roger looked at his two companions and laughed. Rayleigh and Jabba are not weak. Just talking about the strength of either of the two is not enough to see in front of Air. In the same way, only 4.3 with Roger alone, in front of the current strength of Air, is not enough to see. But, if Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba join forces, then in this world, there are really not many people who are their opponents. You know, the three have fought together for decades. They have already had a very strong friendship with each other. When the three of them fight together, they are not afraid of Air in front of them. Hey, true or false? The three main members of the Roger Pirates, do they want to deal with the monster Air together? Doflamingo said with some surprise. Are the three going together? In this way, Can you still beat them, Air? He. Things have become interesting. Moria smiled strangely. Chapter 257. Heaven Avoidance, please complete the order. Just let me see the limit of your strength, Air. I want to know how long it will take me to catch up with you now, Bullet said. Since Air has shown great strength, Bullet has made Air his target. However, as to where Air's strength is limited, he is not clear. Exactly, in today's battle, you can see the limit of Air's strength. What exactly is it? Jia ha. Air, with your strength, even if the three of them go together, you can handle it. The Golden Lion, standing in the air, looked at everything in front of him with interest. He was relieved of Roger's death. At this time, he was very interested in this 3-on-1 battle. However, even the three main forces of the Roger regiment went together. The Golden Lion still doesn't think Air will lose. Because he had been at naval headquarters, he had seen with his own eyes how terrifying the strength of Air was. Three main forces that cooperate with each other very well, to deal with the world's strongest pirate. Air, who will be the winner of this battle? Earl Red asked with interest as he tried to figure out his chin. Center of the battlefield. 03 Roger asked, keeping his eyes on Air. You don't mind the three of us going together, Air, 35. To deal with monsters like you, the three of us will go together, but don't say we are bullying people, Air, 33 Rayleigh said. I think, even against the three of us, you think you can handle it with ease, after all. Your strength is above any of us, Jabba said. Of course you can, but then again, don't you have an interesting powerhouse on board? Why don't you call him up together? Air said calmly. Air didn't care about the alliance of the three, after all, he was still confident in his own strength. Plus, it's almost noontime, and the other powerhouse he mentioned was Bullet. There are many legends left by Bullet in this sea, after all, it can draw a tie with Rayleigh. Although that guy is a powerful monster, but it would be too unkind to deal with you if you call too many people. Roger spread his hands. Teaming up with Rayleigh Jabba, Roger thinks he's good enough for the current Air. So, I didn't plan to call Bullet together. Moreover, although Bullet is very strong, there is no tacit cooperation with the three of them. Let's start this battle, Air, let the three of us experience your strength. Advertisement, Rayleigh said solemnly. As his voice fell, Roger, Jabba, Rayleigh were all ready to fight. In the face of existences like Air, even if the three of them join forces, they don't dare to be careless. After all, how strong Air's attack was just now, they also saw it with their own eyes. The three of them glanced at each other, and the next moment they approached Air at their fastest speed. Want to preempt? Come on then, the sun without mercy. Air didn't say anything more and went directly to the battle state. He saw a huge fireball above his fingertips, and the fireball exuded the high temperature of ultimate. It is even more terrifying than the temperature of the magma. After all, this fireball comes from the power of the sun. The fireball above the Air continued to expand and grow, exuding the high temperature of scorching Logue Town. Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba immediately seemed to be in a sea of fire. The terrifying heat made them sweat. When the fireball swelled to be larger than Air's volume, he threw the fireball directly at the three of them. Boom! Everyone saw a dazzling white light flashing in their eyes, and the next second, a huge explosion sounded in everyone's ears. The terrifying heat wave also swept across all directions in an instant. Lots of people around. It was difficult to resist the scorching high temperature, the sweat in the body was evaporated directly, and the eyes rolled and passed out. Air. With a voice, Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba appeared in three directions of Air at the same time. The sun released by Air, although the power is extremely terrifying. However, all three of them possessed extremely strong observation haki, and they predicted the attack trajectory in advance. So dodge this attack. But, you can see that they all have burning marks on their bodies. Advertisement. Although they do avoid the sun, however, the heat wave generated by the explosion, as well as the flames set off, still caused certain injuries to the three of them. It's really troublesome for the three of them to join forces. Air glanced at Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba who were approaching him. The three are worthy of being companions for many years, and they have an extremely tacit cooperation. In the face of the attack of the three, even Air now feels a little tricky. Shish. 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 Air held Zan Shen in both hands and quickly swung his sword energy in three directions. The incomparably terrifying sword energy fluttered vertically and horizontally, like a roaring black dragon, devouring the three of them. Rayleigh and Jabba, facing Air's attack, were directly knocked out. But Roger sideways dodged Air's sword attack and appeared behind Air. You lost, Air. As Roger's voice fell, the armed color conqueror's haki was wrapped directly above Roger's blade. Exhausted the strength of the whole body, poured all the swordsmanship attainments that oneself comprehended into this sword. Tisk, it's a lot more tricky than I thought, although he can achieve extremely superb swordsmanship. In a very short period of time, The sword energy was shot in 3 directions, blocking the attacks of the 3. Rayleigh, Jabba was literally knocked out by him. However, Roger's observation hockey is really terrifying, directly predicting the trajectory and dodging it. Really, although the strength is perverted, but, facing the alliance of the 3 main forces of the Roger regiment, he is still difficult to contend. The Red Earl commented with a smile on his face. Roger roared and slashed at Air. A shocking slash fell on Air's body. A terrifying force was forced out of Roger's blade, slashing at Air's back. Heavenly avoid. You're going to be defeated, Air. The armed color destroyed by Roger's interior, and the top-notch Conqueror's entanglement slash. No matter how strong your physique is, you will be severely injured. 5. The terrifying force directly caused Air's body to move dozens of meters before it could stop. Bullet looked at the battlefield with interest. Now, Roger has found an excellent sneak attack opportunity. Chapter 258 time arrives at noon. The main play is about to start, please order. The internal destruction of a max-level armament hockey. It is the ability to directly ignore any defenses and directly cause huge damage to the inside of the body. And the top Conqueror's winding, which is extremely top and pure destructive power. The 2 full-level hockeys then covered Roger's nearly exhausted sword, which poured into all his swordsmanship. Needless to say, how terrifying the injuries this knife can cause. If this knife had hit Bullet, he would have been lying down long ago. And Air is still not lying down. However, Bullet believes that Air should have suffered unimaginable injuries. The other side Kong saw the scene in front of him, a light flashed in his eyes, and he was a little excited. Possible. The 3 main forces of the Roger regiment joined forces, and it was indeed terrifying enough. Since then, the 3 of them may have traumatized Air. Later, we will not only execute Roger, but also Air to take it. Zephyr also clenched his fists and said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Originally, they saw that Roger alone could not compete with Air. Just gave up and the battle between the 2 was over, and then attacked Air. However, with the addition of Rayleigh and Jabba, the trio teamed up and found a great opportunity to traumatize Roger to Air. If we continue to fight, I believe that even if Air can win this battle, he will suffer a lot of injuries. So, after they execute Roger, all the marine powerhouses swarmed up and can definitely take Air. It seems that today, we will be able to take down Air, the enemy that caused us a great headache. He folded his arms in front of his chest and said slowly. This guy Air never thought that the Logue town he stepped into today is already his cemetery, Akainu sneered. In the battlefield, Air felt the pain in his back, glanced at Roger and commented. Good power, Roger. Roger's knife. Even if it is cut on the top powerhouse with rough skin and flesh like Kaido, I am afraid that they will suffer a heavy blow. In the same way, he also suffered a lot of injuries from this knife. Advertisement, but for him, it wasn't a big deal. After all, his sage body had already reached the full level. In terms of physical hardness, there is really no one in the whole world that can compare to him. Moreover, the current heir not only has a full-level sage body, and Ace Kano's physique blessing, in the face of a double-layered and highly defensive physique, Roger's knife caused a lot of damage. But in the face of Air's physique and resilience, it didn't work at all. I saw that the wound on Air's back was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Sage body doesn't just make Air extremely defensive. At the same time, his resilience has surpassed that of the Phantom Beast-type Phoenix Fruit. Hey. Just kidding. The wound caused by Roger's full blow has healed? Rayleigh was sweating coldly on his forehead, staring at Air with a haunted look. Air's strength is terrible. The defense is top-notch, and that's fine. But, why is the resilience so strong? Is that human being? Has the full blow that covered Roger's armament, Conqueror's hockey, and swordsmanship skills recovered so easily by you? Jabba also stared at Air in disbelief. After the 3 of them cooperated, they finally found an opportunity to traumatize Air. But, in the blink of an eye, Roger's terrifying blow was easily recovered by Air. You guys' strength is indeed much higher than ours, Air. Roger was also a little shocked. He didn't hold back the knife just now, he tried his best to hit Air. But, even so, with his full blow, Air's almost invincible physique was still restored to its original state in the blink of an eye. Don't think too highly of me, Roger. Although the injury has recovered, it has consumed a lot of my stamina. 5. Roger's knife caused not only external injuries, but also serious internal injuries. And hockey's power remains in Air's body. Sage body does have an extremely powerful recovery. Advertisement, but Sage body is a physique from the Hokage ninja world after all. The resilience of the Sage body is for injuries caused by the Hokage ninja world. And hockey's injuries, and Roger's slash at the hockey that was still inside him. Although Sage body can indeed recover, it will consume more physical strength than normal recovery from injuries. I thought that the three of us joined forces to bully you, but now it seems that we think too much. Rayleigh couldn't help sighing. The pressure you have brought to us has surpassed that of facing the rocks. Jabba tried to calm down and frowned. You're strong, Air, and it's an honor to be born in the same era as you, Roger said. Come again. Roger yelled for the rest of his life, and the three charged towards Air again. Although the strength of the three is not comparable to that of Air, the three of them have an extremely superb tacit understanding. Learn from each other's strengths, constantly attack Air, and use tactics flexibly to avoid Air's attack. In Air, no other abilities are used, only Ace Kano's physique blessing. And the swordsmanship skills in Roger's three competition still do not have much upper hand. Time flickered and the four of them had been fighting for quite some time. You can see the whole Logue town. Thousands of meters in radius were all reduced to ruins, with gravel and debris everywhere, like a barren land. The battle of the three had already entered the white-hot stage, Zhao Qianhao. Between swords, lights, swords and shadows, the four of them have fought against each other for dozens of rounds. This top-notch battle will undoubtedly make every crowd watching the battle remember it in their minds. After all, it was the first time for many people to witness such a confrontation between top powerhouses. Crackling. Ding 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 dong. Air suddenly felt that his physical strength surged into a violent force, lingering in his body. It's noon now. Air, holding the blade, continuously defended against the repeated attacks from the three, and looked for opportunities to counterattack. And when it reaches noon, Air's strength will reach its peak. The physique inherited from Ace Kano can enhance Air's strength over time. He suddenly started the battle with the three and set his sights on the sky. The time of the battle passed by every minute and every second. Chapter 259 The Heaven and the World. The time has now reached noon. I saw the dark clouds in the sky recede at a speed visible to the naked eye. Blue sky and white clouds revealed. The high-altitude sun radiated an extremely bright, dazzling light, shining on Air's body. Air could clearly feel the terrifying power that was constantly surging in his body. I saw his momentum gradually soaring and then climb to the top. The aura emanating from Air's body directly intimidated the powerhouses in the entire Logue town. At this time, Air stood like a god of war, and his body was filled with shocking aura. A very high-temperature flame even burned around Air's body. It's like melting everything. This is not an ordinary flame, but the magic of the sun. The flames that lingered around Air were even more terrifying than the temperature of the lava. In addition to this, Air's body has also changed. I saw his physique swell directly from 4 meters to a height of 7 meters. At this time, Air's body was as huge as Kaido. Just stand there. But the aura that I am the only one in the sky and the world is what makes countless people terrified. What happened? How do I feel? 783 Air is a little different from just now. No, it's not an illusion. Not only has his body changed drastically, but his aura is also very different from just now. Is this guy getting stronger again? 35? Let's go. Just kidding. Just now Air fought the 3 cadres of the Roger regiment alone, and he was not at a disadvantage. Now that he has become stronger, how strong is his strength? In the distance, countless onlookers stared at Air in surprise. Although somewhat unbelievable, but they can clearly feel that Air's body has undergone great changes. Advertisement if nothing else, Air's strength is definitely stronger than before. Air just now was able to fight on an equal footing with the 3 of Roger's regiment. Now that he has become stronger, they can't imagine how terrifying his strength will be. Isn't it your full strength just now, Air? The Red Earl frowned slightly and said in surprise. Previously, Air's strength was enough to shock the audience. What he didn't expect was that it wasn't Air's full strength just now. Added, now, in Air's state, even the Red Earl feels a lot of pressure. Is this the limit of your strength? It seems that it will take me a long time to catch up. Bullet's forehead was startled with sweat, and his face was heavy. As expected of a pirate with a bounty of 7 billion Baileys in the New World, your strength is indeed superior to countless others. Air, if we join forces, the overthrow of the world government is just around the corner. Long Xian was stunned for a moment, then smiled slightly. Dragons have perfect plans and countless weapons. Combined with Air's almost invincible terrifying combat power, they will surely be able to overthrow the world government. Damn, it's a power I've never seen before. What the hell is going on with this guy Air? Garp's face was solemn, his eyes staring at Air, and he asked in shock. Air estimates that he has developed Devil Fruit's ability to the point of ultimate, and he can use completely different abilities in every battle. This guy is really a monster. Crane was also a little shocked. Air should have used a similar boosting ability again, but I think his ability should have no side effects, otherwise he wouldn't release it so easily. Kong looked serious and couldn't help but gasped. They couldn't guess Air's ability at all. The only thing that can be guessed though, is whenever Air uses amplifying power. There will be a cooldown time. For example, in the Battle of the Hive that year, Air used the power of the Six Paths Sage mode, which was not used until the Battle of the Valley of the Gods. The second time to use the power of augmentation is in Air's second invasion of the Holy Land Marijoy. At that time, Air used 10 Tails Jinchuriki and became a semi-complete Sage of Six Paths. And that power of increase has never been shown again until now. All kinds of deeds also show that Air's use of the power to increase his own strength has a cooldown. It cannot be used anytime and anywhere, but after using it once, it cannot be used again for a long time. In other words, the ability to increase is very valuable to Air. Advertisement. But right now, Air is only fighting against the three main players of the Roger Regiment. But it used the ability to increase its own strength. This made Kong guess directly. The ability that Air uses to increase his own strength has absolutely no cooldown. Otherwise, he wouldn't waste it so easily, but what made Kong unexpected was that the power of the 10 Tails Jinchuriki used in the Holy Land Marijoy. Air can also be released anytime and anywhere, but it is not necessary to deal with the Roger Regiment. That is to say, the current Air can erupt with such power anytime, anywhere. 35. It's hard to imagine. If this monster is used, what a terrifying level the boosting ability of the Battle of Marijoy in the Holy Land will reach. 5. Sengoku said with an unusually heavy expression. Now the terrifying aura on Air's body is enough to make them startled. They can't imagine. When Air uses 10 Tails Jinchuriki again, he becomes Sage of Six Paths. What amazing combat power will be displayed, but don't worry too much. Lord Five Elders once guessed that the ability that Air unleashed in Holy Land Marijoy would not be able to be used again for more than 20 years. It's only been a few years since then. You only need to find a way to get rid of Air in the remaining 10 years, so that he can't release the ability of the year again. And Air's 10 Tails Jinchuriki ability released in the Holy Land Marijoy that year. This is extremely terrifying and almost surpasses everyone's ability. Yes, next time I release that power, I'm afraid Air will become stronger. In the opinion of Five Elders, it is impossible without a cooldown of more than 20 years. Directly one-on-one with 4-5 Elders, beheaded 3. Naturally, there are side effects. The leader of the CPO organization, who has not spoken for a while, reminded. In the eyes of 5 Elders, Devil Fruit has powerful abilities. That is to say, we can only have the opportunity to kill Air in the next 10 years. After 10 years, is it impossible? Chapter 261 moved to end the battle center of the battlefield. Air carried the blade on his shoulder, and the sun's fire swirled around him. That astonishing aura directly deterred Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba, making the three of them not dare to act rashly. Come on, Roger, Rayleigh, Jabba, I can only maintain this state for a minute. If I can hold it in my hands for a minute, I will admit that this battle is your victory. However, I still want to remind you that if you fight again, you may die. Air glanced at the three of them calmly. Ace Kano's physical strength, although it gave Air an extremely terrifying increase. At noon, you will gain the power to destroy the world. But only, for a minute. However, even if he only had 1 minute to deal with the three main forces of the Roger Regiment, Air felt that it was enough. 1 minute. Hearing Air's words, Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba glanced at each other. Are you sure that the three of us will join forces and you only need to hold on to your hands for a minute before you admit defeat, Air? Roger asked. Certainly. Ha ha ha. This is what you said, Air. Roger suppressed the fear in his heart and laughed. If he could hear the confession of monsters like Air before he was about to be executed, Roger can be considered dead without regret. Roger gave an order, and the three of them ran in 3 directions, rushing towards Air. Just before approaching Air, the three of them covered their bodies with a thick layer of armament hockey for defense. Because the three of them can clearly feel it, how amazing is the momentum that Air exudes now. If you don't cover armament hockey in advance, you can defend in all directions. They are afraid they will be instantly killed by Air. Take this one blow from the sun. I am the only one in the heaven and the world. 35. Air opened one hand and held it high in the air. Advertisement. I saw a huge fireball appearing directly from his palm. The ultimate high temperature emitted by the fireball directly enveloped the entire Logue town. Everyone seems to be in a furnace. The fireball in Air's palm continued to expand and grow, and finally became as grand as the sun. Almost shrouded the sky over the entire Logue town. Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba, who were about to approach Air, saw this scene and froze in place. Fake. Fake it. The fireball is so big. The fireball condensed in Air's palm now is many times larger than the one released before. Now they are completely afraid to approach Air, because of the ultimate high temperature emanating from the fireball. Let him cover armament hockey, and feel the intense pain of the body being burned by the flames. Get out of the way. Roger shouted quickly. He knew why Air was in this state for only a minute. Because in this minute, Air's strength has completely surpassed the entire sea. Hearing Roger's reminder, Rayleigh and Jabba quickly moved away from Air, trying to avoid the huge fireball. If you want to escape now, it's too late. Suddenly, a voice came from behind them, making them horrified. When Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba turned their heads slightly, I saw a huge fireball like the sun, already rushing towards the face. The size of the fireball is too large, and the external acceleration is extremely fast. They have absolutely no room to hide. Boom! With a loud noise, the entire Logue Town shook violently. Under Air's blow, nearly half of the area of Logue Town was affected by this attack. Countless buildings collapsed suddenly, forming pieces of ruins. Many pirates on the scene were directly swept away by the terrifying momentum, and some were even killed on the spot. The huge roaring sound was incessant, and the monstrous smoke filled their eyes. Let them not be able to see clearly the situation on the battlefield. And with that smoke dissipated, advertisement everyone could see that a huge deep pit appeared on the ground level in front of Air. Moreover, waves of seawater are spreading from the giant pit. Air's blow directly penetrated the island. No, not right, a single blow directly penetrated the island? The power of this fireball is too terrifying. Isn't he the one with the ability to burn fruit? 0. For flowers katakana middle dot, burning fruit. What a joke, Logia can't have such terrifying power. 95. I didn't expect that even the three main forces of the Roger regiment were not the opponents of this monster, and Roger and the others would not have died. Seeing the scene in front of them, many pirates were immediately stunned. No one could have imagined the power of Air's fireball. It was terrifying to this level. R.O. Captain Roger, Buggy yelled in horror. This guy Air is much stronger than Captain Roger. Hong was stunned, unable to calm down for a long time. Is this the limit of your strength, Air? Bullet's eyes flashed with surprise, staring at Air in disbelief. Air's strength was far more terrifying than he imagined. Right now, he doesn't even know how long he will have to work hard to catch up with Air's footsteps. But what made him even more unexpected was that what he showed now was not the full strength of Air. After all, Air's strongest hole card is 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Sage of Six Paths. Interesting. No wonder you can't see through a man like you. Your strength is beyond my imagination. Air. The Red Earl wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and smiled. Although it has left us more than 10 years, but can we really defeat this monster? 99 Aokiji couldn't help swallowing. According to the leader of the CPO organization, Air still has more than 10 years left to use the power of Sage of Six Paths. But just based on the combat power that Air has now, it is enough to make them terrified. To deal with enemies like Air, they have to think long-term. Beg. Although he said so, Kong also had no idea in his heart. Then other big pirates will also take advantage of it. If you put a lot of combat power on Air, don't demoralize, Kuzan, this guy is scary, but we will get rid of him sooner or later. Kong snorted coldly with a solemn expression. If you want to deal with the current strength of Air, unless Sengoku, Garp, Zephyr, and Crane go together, there is a chance of winning. There are also many big pirates. But you must know that New World is not just a big pirate like Air. Chapter 261 One Piece is over, please complete order. The flames on Air slowly dissipated, and the terrifying aura emanating from him also subsided. Because a minute has passed. Looking at the seawater surging up in front of him, Air inserted the blade back into the scabbard. After waiting for a few seconds, I saw 3 black shadows swimming up from the big hole in front of me. Puff. Roger emerged, clutching Rayleigh, who had fallen into a coma, and Jabba. It can be seen that Rayleigh and Jabba have severe burns on their bodies, and even the wounds in some places are deep to the bone. And Roger was not knocked out by Air's blow, but he also had serious injuries. You beat Roger. Air looked at him calmly. He had already told Roger before the battle that he would only last a minute in his hands. Then it is the victory of Roger and others, and now, 783, time is up in 1 minute. With Roger still alive and standing in front of him, Air conceded Roger's victory. Ha ha ha. Did I win? Roger laughed. Although his strength is indeed not as good as Air's, it is even more in the case of joining forces with Rayleigh and Jabba. Nearly killed by Air, however, Roger is also very clear about the strength gap between himself and Air. There is no delusion that he can beat Air. Now, Roger is satisfied with the victory of the agreement with Air. I'm so happy to fight you in the last moments of my life, Air. With a smile on the corner of Roger's mouth, he said sincerely. Although he is not Air's opponent, but this hardy battle with Air, it really made him feel the blood of the battle. There are not many people who can laugh before dying, I think. There should be few in this world. In this world, there is almost no one who is not afraid of death. And Roger, so calmly faced his own ending. This courage, and this daring, really surprised Air. No matter what, my final ending is death, so why not let yourself be happy at the last moment of your life? Roger. Roger was about to die, and Air felt something in his heart. Advertisement after all, Roger is also following the same generation. Now, the legend that belongs to Roger has come to an end. At this moment, Kong shouted at Roger. Hey, Roger, your battle with Air is over and the execution is about to begin. The execution time has already passed, Roger. We have given you enough time. If you resist the execution again, don't blame us for being rough. Zephyr followed suit. Roger glanced at Kong's several people, then put his eyes on Air and said. Then help me take care of the two AYRs and let them get out of Logtown alive. Rayleigh and Jabba are now in a coma. If no one cares about them, it will probably be after Roger is executed. Marine will also take these two. Although it is said that when he turned himself in, he made an agreement with Marine so that Marine would not need to attack his crew. But Marine is the enemy of their pirates in the end and cannot be completely trusted. I can't do this job for nothing, Roger, Air smiled. Hearing this, Roger instantly understood what Air meant and responded. When the two of them leave alive, you can ask them for 4 devil fruits as a reward. That's good. Air nodded. Taking Rayleigh and Jabba out of a coma was a complete no-brainer for him. If he can get 4 devil fruits because of this, the business will be a steady profit for him. Roger glanced at the unconscious Rayleigh and Jabba, sighed, and walked towards Marine. Although he was a little reluctant, his former companion, but now he can only usher in his own death. The execution continues. 35 Kong shouted. As his voice fell, 2 executioners quickly ran over from a distance. And Roger was handcuffed again. Just then, a man in the distance shouted. Hey, One Piece. Where are the treasures you looted? You got that legendary big secret treasure, that is, the big secret treasure that is connected together. Hearing this voice, Air looked at the man in surprise. It stands to reason that the world has caused too many butterfly effects because of his existence. Many things are quite inconsistent with the original. Advertisement. How come, before Roger's execution, as in the original book, someone came to ask about Roger's great secret treasure? Roger was also stunned when he heard the words, and then laughed and said 0. Ha ha ha. Do you want my treasure? Take it all if you want it, go find it, I put all the treasures there. His voice fell, and there was an uproar in the entire Logtown crowd. The legendary big secret treasure? Interesting. The Red Earl smiled evilly. He. Does that legendary great secret treasure really exist? Roger really told a big news before he died. Moria smiled strangely. If this news spreads, I believe the number of pirates in this sea will expand again, Doflamingo said with interest. The big secret treasure? I didn't expect that the legendary thing was found by Roger. Long also stared at Roger on the stage in surprise. When Kong heard Roger say such words, he hurriedly shouted, Execution. Hear Kong's order. The 2 executioners didn't show any slights, and took up the long knives and stabbed Roger's body directly. With Roger's strength, it was completely unrealistic for such a blade to hurt him. But Roger had neither defense nor armament hockey against the stabbing blade. Instead, he greeted his own death with a smile on his face. Puff. With the sound of blood spraying, Roger's heart was pierced by a long knife. And Roger's vitality, in a very short time, quickly dissipated. So far, Pirate 4.3 King Roger is dead. After the execution of Roger, Marine's eyes were all on Air. Roger, the man who gave their Marine a headache, was dead. But Air, the man who gave the whole world a headache, is still alive. But although now Roger is dead, but at this time, they still didn't have any idea of taking Air. After all, Air and Roger and others had a very top-notch confrontation. But until the end of the battle, there was no trace of injury on Air's body. Today's Air, almost if they go up. Although, they are confident that they can win Air, but they must also lose a lot. Besides Air, there are other big pirates at the scene. If they attack Air, the other big pirates will surely follow suit. Chapter 262. The Logtown incident ends. After Roger dies, you are next, Air. Kong looked gloomy and said coldly, We will not allow you to survive in this sea for too long, and soon we will take your life and let you and Roger go to hell together. Wait, Air, it won't be long before you die, although, the Marine did not plan to attack Air in Logtown today. But at least the harsh words have to be released. Because they know that there are still reporters in this Logtown today. Everything that happens today will be released tomorrow with world-shaking news. So, they're going to be harsh, and they can't let Air's Majesty overtake their Marines. Really, I'm curious, when will you take me down? Air said calmly. Unless the top powerhouses of naval headquarters are all dispatched to deal with him. It is possible to defeat him. However, the entire New World is not the only pirate in O3. It was impossible for Marine to put all his forces on him. If all the troops are really dispatched to deal with him. Even if Marine can win the final victory, then Marine must have suffered extremely heavy losses. In this way, Marine has almost no place in the world. Because the other big pirates in New World will join forces to completely destroy all Marines. Gia ha ha ha. If you want to attack air, I think you should take advantage of it now, because this guy will grow to a more terrifying level in the future. You will be completely unable to deal with it. Standing in the air, the Golden Lion laughed as he looked at the many Marine powerhouses. Air's current age, but younger than him. So, the Golden Lion is clear that Air's talent isn't over yet. The strength in the future will definitely be even more terrifying. Shiki, are you instructing our Marine? I forgive you guys who don't dare to attack Air now, Golden Lion sneered. He could see the situation clearly if Marine dared to attack Air. They had already joined the group together, how could they still be standing here? Don't be too arrogant, I really think we Marine can't do anything about you, right? Advertisement Kong's fist was wrapped with a layer of armament hockey, his face was gloomy, and he was about to attack. If you want to fight, come now, Air said calmly. Air's sage body, although not yet at full level, but, at least it's already reached the late stage. If Marine wanted to fight, he wouldn't mind borrowing the power of 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Become the sage of 6 paths and go toe-to-toe with the top Marines in front of you. Of course. That's not to say that Air alone is capable of killing all the Marines. Instead, he believes that even if he kills a few Marines, he can leave them alive. UB************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* burst out in anger and wanted to approach Air angrily. Seeing this scene, Sengoku quickly stopped Akainu. Our goal today, Sakazuki, has been achieved, now is not the time to fight this guy. Sengoku knew that Akainu was tough, but he didn't expect that Akainu would be so tough. Air can even defeat the 3 main forces of the Roger Regiment. Akainu rushed up so frankly, isn't he sending death? Don't be impulsive, Sakazuki, we will have time to deal with Air in the future, but now we need to hold our breath, Suru reminded. If there is only one big pirate in this Logue town, Air. Then the group of them had already encircled them and launched an offensive against Air. But the problem is, now this Logue town, not only a dangerous person like Air. Red Earl, Golden Lion, Bullet, and Dragon are all not simple characters. Once the fight broke out, they did not guarantee that these few people would intervene in the battle. If they intervene, it will be an exceptional headache for them. Damn. Akainu clenched his fists tightly and stared at Air with intense killing intent. His heart is to carry out absolute justice, in his view, the name of justice is absolutely undefiled. And Air, who is now belittling the marine justice, ignores them at all. At this time, Akainu's inner anger towards Air overwhelmed his inner fear. But at this time, he was powerless against Air, advertisement. After all, he is also very clear that his current strength is too weak. But in front of Air, it's not enough to see it all. It's rare for you to have such courage, Sakazuki, but this courage is not applicable now. 35 Garp patted Akainu on the shoulder and said. I have to say, Akainu still has courage, because now, not even Garp and the others dared to approach Air easily. And Akainu's violent temper, as if not afraid, wants to attack Air. Garp also appreciates this courage without fear of anyone. Air, sooner or later, I will take you down with my own hands. Akainu shouted at Air. Before Air could make a sound, the Golden Lion standing high in the sky burst into laughter. Gia ha ha ha. You are such a complete idiot. Now Air's strength, the whole world, I believe that not many people can compete with Air alone. Although the current Akainu is still very young, there is a lot of potential in the future. But 783. In the eyes of Golden Lion, even if Akainu grows to the peak, so what? In front of Air, what is it? Take care of your Marines, Garp. If he says one more word, I will kill him in front of you. Air glanced at Akainu indifferently. If Akainu dared to be arrogant in front of him again, he wouldn't mind entering 6 paths sage mode. In the hands of Garp and others, kill Akainu. When Akainu heard this, veins appeared on his forehead, and he wanted to say something. Kong on the side scolded. Enough, Sakazuki. So instead of wasting time here, it's better to go back and discuss and deal with Air's countermeasures. The captain of the CPO organization glanced at a few people and reminded. He is also a future admiral candidate with great talent and strength. Come on, it's time for us to retreat, there's no point in staying here. 99. You know, Akainu is one of the 3 stars of their naval headquarters. Kong was still a little scared about Air's words. The future is their Marines' mainstay, so Kong can't let Akainu say anything else, angering Air. After all, he did worry that Air was desperate to kill Akainu from them. He knew very well that there would be no fight with Air today. Chapter 263 Full Level Fairy Eyes, completely unlocking the power of 6 paths, please order. The old man won't let you do bad things in this sea for too long, Air. Garp left those words and turned to leave. Kong, Sengoku, Zephyr, Suru, Akainu, Kizaru, Aokiji and others also left this place with Garp. In any case, today they successfully executed Roger, and this time the purpose has been achieved. Hey. True or false, Air said such cruel words, how dare Marine dare not do anything to him? It seems that Marine is also very clear about how terrifying the strength of this monster Air is. After all, he alone fought against the 3 cadres of the Roger regiment and won. Now in the entire New World, Air is the only one who dares to say the man who killed Sakazuki in front of so many top Marines and can still get out. Seeing Marine leaving, the crowd instantly boiled. They all thought that Air said when he wanted to kill Akainu. A number of Marine powerhouses will attack Air directly. Unexpectedly, Marine's last plan was to retreat. It's just that when he left a harsh word. This scene made them somewhat unbelievable, and Air watched Marine's many top powerhouses leave and did not choose to pursue. After all, he is not 100% sure that he can defeat so many people at the same time. Come on, Nagli. Air glanced at Nagli in the crowd and commanded. Yes, Mr. Air. Nagli carried Rayleigh, who had fallen into a coma, and Jabba, who were planning to leave. At this moment, Long suddenly appeared in front of Air and smiled. Interested in talking to me about collaborations, Air? 5. After fully seeing the strength of Air today, he is even more determined to win over Air and become an ally on the same front as their revolutionary army. After all, with Air's assistance, Long really thinks the overthrow of the world government is just around the corner. Not interested. 35 Long was young, but Air recognized him. At the same time, he naturally knew very well what the purpose of the dragon was. I haven't said anything yet, Mr. Air, don't you listen to me first and then make plans? You are too weak. When your strength is strong enough, come talk to me about cooperation. After 99 Air left this sentence, he turned and left. Advertisement Long created the revolutionary army, and his purpose was to overthrow the world government. Air has a little interest in overthrowing the world government, but not very much. At the same time, Long's current strength, as well as the forces of the revolutionary army, are too weak. It's not worth talking to him about cooperation at all. Too weak. Long froze in place, staring at Air's leaving figure, lost in bursts. It's normal for this kind of monster to look down on us now, Dorag. After all, our current power is really not qualified to discuss cooperation with him, and we will go to him after our power develops. Ivankov appeared behind the dragon and patted him on the shoulder. That's right, he should know something about the revolutionary army I created, and at the same time have some interest in overthrowing the world government, otherwise, he wouldn't say such a thing. Long was silent for a moment and nodded. In any case, Air did not directly refuse to cooperate with them. But let him grow up strength, and then go to him to talk about cooperation. This also makes Long see hope. I saw the hope of joining forces with Air to overthrow the world government. After Air and Nagli came to the beach, they drove the boat and prepared to return. At this moment, the sound of the system entered Air's ear. Ding, congratulations host, get 300 fairy eyes progress. Ding, congratulations to host, the special inventory items in the mall have been refreshed. After the battle was over, the 300 celestial eye progress one did not surprise Air. However, the sentence of the system, the refresh of items in the special commodity bar, made Air instantly interested. Without hesitation, he quickly opened the mall in the upper right corner of the property panel. What he saw in front of him was a special ability promotion card. Ability promotion card? Seeing the items in the mall, Air frowned. You must know that the current Air Conqueror's hockey has all cultivated to the full level. At this time, what is the use of refreshing an ability promotion card? The system seemed to understand Air's incomprehensible explanation. Ding, the system prompts. The special ability promotion card is not used to promote Conqueror's hockey, but to promote special abilities. Can you be promoted to special abilities? Could it be that? Is it a promotion card that can be promoted to Immortal Eye? Advertisement now the progress of Air Fairy Eyes has reached 6,300. There is still 3,700 progress left, and the Immortal Eye can reach the full level. However, Air's progress in brushing the cactus has been exhausted. During the recent period, Air did not go out to sea to get progress. After all, if you do one thing long enough, it is really easy to get bored. Now, if this special ability promotion card can directly promote the Immortal Eye to the full level. So doesn't he have to search for pirates in the sea and make boring progress? Yes. Hearing the system's accurate answer, a smile appeared on Air's mouth. Then I looked at the price of the special ability promotion card, which requires 12 devil fruit. However, Air can still pay for it. There are now 27 devil fruits in Kurama's deep space. After sending Rayleigh and Jabba back, he can harvest another dead devil fruit. In other words, Air owns 31 devil fruit, 12 devil fruit, he can still pay. Without hesitation, Air quickly purchased the special ability promotion card. Ding, consume 12 Jiao Qianhao devil fruit to purchase special ability promotion cards successfully. Ding, does host want to use the special ability promotion card to promote the fairy eye? Sure. Ding, congratulations to host, promoted to attack, immortal eye has reached advanced level. As the sound of the system falls, so does the system panel. Host. Air abilities. Armament Hockey, Max, Observation Hockey, Max, Conqueror's Hockey, Max Tsunade. Special ability. Sage Body, Max, ability. Sword, Great Swordsman. Special ability. Cactus Eye, Max. Note. When the progress is full, other abilities of the Sage's Eye will be unlocked, and a chance for a special lottery will be obtained. 9 Tails. Tailed Beast Bomb, unlocked, Tailed Beast Transformation, unlocked, currently full-tailed Beast Transformation. Kurama Chakra Mode, unlocked, Kurama Mode, unlocked. 10 Tails. 10 Tails Jinchuriki, to unlock, Chapter 264 Resurrection Rocks? With the Immortal Eye reaching the advanced level, this also represents the full ability of the Immortal Eye. Air has basically got it all. Not only that, but the current Air Sage Body and Fairy Eyes are all at full level. Now he can fully unleash the full power of 10 Tails. After a long time, Air is now equivalent to Sage of 6 Paths. Ding, congratulations to host, get the special lottery number X1. Every time the Sage Body and the ability of the Fairy Eyes are upgraded, Air will always get a special lottery number. This time is no exception. Use, Ding, congratulations to host, get the Hokage Ninja World, the enhanced version of Bingbaowen X5. After the host eats it, the chakra and physical strength will be fully recovered, and the injury can be completely recovered. 39. Is it an enhanced version of Bingbing pills? Soldier pills, in the Hokage Ninja World, are used to restore chakra. It can even temporarily increase the upper limit of chakra. It is an important material for the ninja manpower in the early stage of Hokage Ninja. And the ration pills that Air got were much stronger than ordinary ones. It can directly restore chakra, as well as physical strength, and can also be used as a healing medicine. That's a good thing for Air. Although, this special lottery, 783, did not draw as many things as Air imagined. However, Air isn't interested in other abilities right now. Because now he can completely manipulate the power of 10 Tails. Become a real Sage of 6 Paths, he glanced at the military ration pills in the warehouse. Air set his sights on the introduction of the ability of the Fairy Eyes. Because the Immortal Eye is already at full level, basically all abilities have been unlocked. And Air also noticed that the Fairy Eye has a very special ability. That is Rinne Tensai technique. This warlock can be used to resurrect the dead. However, Air also suddenly realized that this forbidden technique is at the expense of the practitioner's life. At this time, the system seemed to see through Air's mind and spoke. Ding, the system prompts. Host will not lose life by using Rinne Tensai technique, but the number of people who can be resurrected is limited, and those who are resurrected by Rinne Tensai technique can only survive in this world for a period of time. 99. In the Hokage Ninja World, those who are resurrected through the Rinne Tensai technique are completely resurrected. Advertisement, however, the Fairy Eye that Air inherits today is the Rinne Tensai technique obtained. The resurrected people are limited in time. After a certain period of time, the resurrected people will disappear. At the same time, there is an upper limit on the number of people who can be resurrected. However, this is also beneficial, as there is no need for Air to drain health. Otherwise, if you revive other people like Hokage ninjas and die yourself, it will not be a big loss. Survival for a period of time, about how long? Air pondered for a while and asked the system inwardly. It could be a few days, it could be a few months, it could be a few years, the system explained. So what's the upper limit of the number of people who can be resurrected? For this question, the system was silent and did not respond. Looks like I need to figure it out myself. The survival time of the resurrected people is unknown, and the upper limit of the number of resurrected people is also unknown. Air decided to try to revive a candidate first. After a little thought, the first resurrection candidate Air thought of was Roger. But, a second thought, the Rinne Tensai technique is to summon the King of Hell and return the soul of the dead to the dead, so as to resurrect the dead. And Roger was executed because he was terminally ill. Air even brought Roger back to life. Not to mention the outsider Rinne Tensai technique, how long can Roger survive in this world? The terminal illness alone prevented Roger from living for a few days. Therefore, if the outsider Rinne Tensai technique is used to resurrect Roger, it is impossible to obtain the exact lifespan of the resurrected personnel. And it is equivalent to wasting a chance to resurrect. After thinking for a moment, Air gave up on resurrecting Roger. Added, Apart from Roger, is there anyone else worthy of my resurrection? Air thought carefully, rubbing his chin with his hands. In the next second, he suddenly thought of something and blurted out his debut. Rox. Air suddenly thought that he could try to resurrect Rox. Rox has been dead for a long time, but as long as his body can be found. Advertisement, then Air can revive it with the help of the outsider Rinne Tensai technique. Rox is not weak, and if he can be resurrected, he can do a lot of things for himself. At the same time, you can also observe how long Rox can survive in this world after being resurrected. Nagli. Air put his eyes on Nagli, who was sailing the boat, and said, "Any orders, Mr. Air? Notify your subordinates and ask them to go to John, Ochaku, Silver Axe, Linlin, Kaido and others to inquire about the whereabouts of the Eternal Pointer in the Valley of the Gods. Air has decided to bring the Rox back to life with the help of Rinne Tensai's precious shot. However, Rox was buried in the Valley of the Gods by Air himself. However, now the Valley of the Gods has sunk into the sea, and Rox's corpse is somewhere in the deep sea at this time. Because Air does not have the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Therefore, it is impossible for him to find Shenhai's Valley of the Gods now. And he believed that the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of Gods should be in the hands of one of these people. Because the Valley of the Gods sank into the sea, before the Rox group disbanded. When they returned to the Rox ship, they scraped everything on board. Among them is the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Got it, Mr. Air. Nagli is the equivalent of Air's housekeeper. Responsible for helping him with all the troublesome things. At the same time, Nagli never asked about Air's orders. Whatever Air ordered, he did it directly, but then again, Mr. Air, since you want to find the former Rox crew and get the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of the Gods, isn't Shiki your former companion? Don't you need to ask him about the whereabouts of the Eternal Pointer? After Nagli used the phone bug to instruct his subordinates, he raised his head slightly and asked. After the three of them searched and came back, they found that the Eternal Pointer on the table had been taken away. Therefore, the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of God must have been taken away by someone other than the three of them. However, none of the three went to get it. Air had previously worked with Golden Lion and Whitebeard to loot the treasures on the Rox ship. The current Golden Lion should have just left Logue Town not long ago. Understood. It is not necessary, he does not have the Eternal Pointer of the Valley of the Gods in his hands. 99. At this time, they can still catch up, and the three of them have also seen the Eternal Pointer on the table. Chapter 265 The Plan of the Five Elders. Meanwhile, on the other side. The captain of the CPO organization, who returned by boat, dialed the phone bug of five elders. Blue blue. Blood. Blue blue. After the phone bug was connected, its image slowly turned into a solemn old man. How about the execution of Roger? The old man with the knife asked. Although there were some troubles in the middle, but, in the end Roger has been successfully executed. That's good. But, besides this, there is one other news to report. What news? Before Roger was executed, he challenged Air with his right and left hand, Rayleigh Jabba. How does it end? The three Roger regiments are completely defeated. Hearing the news reported by the leader of the CPO organization, the face of the old man with the knife instantly became a little dignified. Roger, Rayleigh, Jabba are not weak. Moreover, when the three of them joined forces, the combat power that could burst out was beyond imagination. Even the knife-wielding old man did not think that he could cope with the three of them joining forces. And Air was able to win the battle with the three of them together. That guy Air has become stronger than before, and more importantly, he fought against the three main forces of the Roger regiment, without using the power he used in the Holy Land Marijoy. At the Battle of the Holy Land Marijoy that year, Air did not resort to special forces. Even just an old man with a knife was enough to suppress him. But after using the special ability, the combat power skyrocketed. In the end, one person fought 4-5 elders alone and killed 3. And now, Air doesn't have those kinds of powers. It is enough to be alone, with absolute strength, to defeat the three main forces of the Roger regiment. Now Air's strength can no longer be described as terrifying. I see. After the knife-wielding old man left these words, he hung up the phone bug. Then he put his eyes on the scarred old man who was aside and said, "Advertisement. The situation at the sea is getting out of hand. Air's strength has been greatly enhanced again. At the same time, the other big pirates of the New World have grown rampant without Marine's intervention. The situation in this sea has become more and more out of their control. The great pirates of the New World need to downsize." The scarred old man took a sip of coffee and said solemnly. "There are so many pirates in New World today. It's not just Air, the out-of-the-ordinary monster that exists. Besides, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Red Earl, Charlotte Linlin, Burndy Wald, Ochaku, John, Silver Axe, Green Pepper, and others, are all tricky beings. If this group of big pirates will continue to develop, The situation in New World will be even worse. They need to make a decision and figure out a way to downsize the big pirates of the New World. It's not easy to do this kind of thing. The old man with the knife sat on the sofa and looked at Erlang's legs. Today, the top combat power of naval headquarters is still a lot worse than the number of these big pirates. There are only 5 people who can be called the main force: Kong, Garp, Sengoku, Zephyr, and Crane. Akainu, Kizaru, and Aokiji are not weak, but after all, it is in the growth stage and its strength cannot be called strong. Although Marine has made a decision, Roger will be executed afterward. Directly relocate naval headquarters to New World. However, even if the base camp is set up in the New World, I want to start with this group of big pirates. It also takes a step-by-step approach to make a perfect plan. This will take a lot of time, and the big pirates of New World will develop stronger during this period. Who knows how long it will take to arrest these big pirates with Marine's action, but I suddenly thought of a good idea. The scarred old man suddenly sat up and said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Oh, what a good idea. The existence of Air, not only our world government and Marine, regard him as a troublesome man, but at the same time, the great pirates of New World think so too. We need to build a bridge and let the big pirates of New World join forces to deal with Air. In this way, if the big pirate of New World can defeat Air and kill him, then we can be considered to have solved an enemy that gave us the most headaches. But if the group of big pirates didn't successfully deal with Air, then Air would definitely kill them as well. Advertisement 0. Ask for flowers. In this way, even if Air is still alive, the big pirates of the New World have been downsized. The scarred old man said slowly. It has to be said that his plan is still very good. Regardless of whether the big pirates of the New World join forces, they succeed in getting rid of Air. But in the end, the big pirates of New World will definitely be downsized. At the same time, with such a plan, neither the world government nor Marine will lose a single bit of their troops. It's a good plan, so let's do it this way. The old man with the knife pondered for a moment and smiled. 5 elders did not hesitate to mobilize CP organization members all over the world. Let him take the precious treasure and start looking for the great pirates of the New World. The next day. New World, an island. This island is the island occupied by the alliance of John, Ochaku, and Silver Axe. It can be seen that on the shore of this island, dozens of pirate battleships are docked at this time. There are as many as 1,000 people on each warship. If all the people add up, there are tens of thousands of people. This is the powerhouse they recruited when the 3 of them formed an alliance and when the New World was developing. And spend a lot of money to build a good warship. The 3 of them have since learned the news of the naval headquarters Shanghai. They had already made plans to join forces to deal with Air. At this time, John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku were standing on the bow of the central battleship. Ochaku gave an order. Set sail. Dozens of pirate battleships are preparing to set sail. But at this moment, a pirate hurried over with a newspaper in his hand. King. Captain Ochaku, the news from Logue Town is out, 35. Isn't that the execution of Roger? Is this news worth reporting in such a panic? Ochaku glanced at him indifferently. The news that Roger is about to be executed in Logue Town has long been out. And now, the pirates say the news from Logue Town has been released. Then, only the news of Roger's execution spread all over the world. This kind of news, Ochaku is a beggar who is not interested in watching it at all. Chapter 266 New World 5 Pirate Groups, please complete order. No, Captain Ochaku, it's not just the news of Roger's execution from Logue Town. Any other news? Yes, 33, bring it here and let me see. Ochaku heard the words and demanded. The pirates quickly handed the newspaper in their hands to Ochaku. The moment he saw the contents of the newspaper, Ochaku's face turned pale. What did the news say, Ochaku? John asked, frowning slightly when he saw his expression. Seeing that Ochaku didn't speak, John also looked up and noticed the contents of the newspaper. In the next second, like Ochaku, a wisp of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Also shocked by the news in the newspapers. What did you 2 guys see? Silver Axe also came over with a look of disdain. The next moment, he was sweating, 783, and stood on his head in disbelief. How? How is it possible? Air, he fought against the 3 main forces of the Roger Regiment in Logue Town, and ended the battle with a victory? They know that Air's strength has grown too much compared to that year. But he did not expect that Air's strength had reached such a level. With the strength of one person, the 3 main forces of the Roger Regiment will be defeated. This terrifying combat power directly shocked the 3 of them. Is this news true? Ochaku took a deep breath and asked the pirate beside him. It's true, the news is now about to spread all over the world, 35. Damn it. Hearing the accurate answer, Silver Axe, Ochaku, and John all turned heavy and fell silent. Air is stronger than they thought. At this time, they couldn't help thinking, even if the three of them joined forces, would they really be able to win Air? Previously Air teamed up with Golden Lion, Kaido to attack Naval Headquarters. They can understand that the people of Naval Headquarters are dealing with the execution of Roger. So there are not many strong people staying in Naval Headquarters. Therefore, Air and others were given the opportunity to sink Naval Headquarters. But now, Air is alone against the three main players of the Roger Regiment. Advertisement The Real Thing is presented in front of their eyes. At this time, they were still a little nervous. After a long silence, John spoke and asked the two people beside him. What should I do? Are we going to join forces to attack Air now? No one knew what terrifying level of Air's current strength had reached. If you join forces rashly to deal with Air, it is very likely that you will end up with the end of the entire army. My suggestion is to put this plan on hold for a while. After all, the current Air has no idea of attacking us, and we don't have to worry about sending troops to target him. Silver Axe responded with a swallow. Let's do it then, Ochaku agreed. Originally, they had assembled tens of thousands of pirate elites and dozens of pirate battleships. The mighty is ready to find trouble with Air. But now, after learning that Air's strength was bottomless, they directly counseled. Just as they were about to give the order to return the ship. On the sea, a ship with the flag of the world government suddenly appeared. That's the people of the world government. Huh? Are these guys trying to trouble us? Air may not be able to deal with the three of us alone, but Lousy from the world government hasn't paid attention to it yet. Just when he wanted to give the order to fire on the ship. The person from the CP organization standing on the bow shouted at John and the others. Don't be nervous, John, Ochaku, Silver Axe, we're here to talk to you about cooperation. Talk about cooperation? Hearing this, John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku glanced at each other. They were all suspicious of his words. Then there's the world government, which is talking about cooperation with the pirates? Are you kidding us? John snorted coldly, of course not. We are not interested in discussing cooperation with your world government, 55. No, you would be interested in this collaboration, 99. Tell him nonsense, get ready to fight, Silver Axe shouted indifferently. Dropped with the sound of Silver Axe. The muzzles of dozens of pirate battleships immediately aimed at members of the CP organization. Advertisement As long as Silver Axe, Ochaku, and John ordered, there would be dozens of pirate battleships. In an instant, countless artillery shells will be launched, destroying the people and ships of the CP organization. Wait a second for Silver Axe, let him finish talking for now, Ochaku hurriedly stopped. Ochaku just used observation hockey to survey the members of the CP group ship. It was found that the people on board were not strong. They can easily destroy it. Even the people of the CP organization would take such a big risk to appear in their territory. Then there must be something important to talk about. Anyway, they can easily destroy the group of people in front of them. So don't worry, just listen to these people finish their words first. Hearing this, Silver Axe did not continue to order those warships to fire, but folded his arms in front of his chest. If you have something to say, just say it directly. If we are not interested, what awaits you will be death. Believe in this man Air, you should be familiar with it, he is a tricky existence for both us and you. What do you want to say in the end? In order to deal with Air, we, the world government, have sent people to Wu Bararik Redfield, Burndy Wald, the two. As long as the three of you agree to deal with Air, it won't be long before the two of you will be your allies fighting alongside you against Air. Of course, we will also present a lot of treasures as a friendly gesture with you. Red Earl, Burndy Wald, both of them are the famous big pirates of 4.3 New World. Both of them are not weak. These two team up with Ochaku, John, Silver Axe. It is equivalent to saying that the 5 big pirates of the New World will deal with Air in total. As a result of this battle, both Air wins, or the victory of these 5 great pirates. Now the people of the world government have appeared, and they have brought them 2 powerful allies to deal with Air. How could they have any reason to refuse such cooperation? For their world government, it is a steady profit. Originally, they were going to shoot at Air today. But unfortunately, because I saw the news about Air, I gave up this idea. At the same time, they will also get the treasures given by the world government. Hear what he said. Standing on the boat, the 3 John looked at each other. Chapter 267 The Whereabouts of the Eternal Pointer in the Valley of God. The 3 of them looked at each other and smiled, then said. Bring the treasure up, we agree to this alliance, 35. Wise choice. The CP organization said with a slight smile. The members of the CP organization kept approaching the ship, and then gave all the treasures on the ship to the 3 of them. After the 3 received the treasure, they discussed with the CP organization. It was then ordered to dock dozens of warships at the port again. For now, they need to wait for Burndy Wald and the Red Earl to join them. At that time, the five will jointly attack the site where Air is located. It didn't take long for the people from the CP organization to leave. On the sea, a ship appeared again. Who is this? John asked suspiciously, noticing the boat sailing on the sea. Why are so many people looking for them today? I don't know, there is no pirate flag on the ship, just an ordinary ship? Ordinary boats? What are you kidding? Ordinary boats dare to approach us? 35. The whole New World knows that O3 John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku are in an alliance. And their territory, in New World, is also known to everyone. It is impossible for someone to appear here rashly without knowing this place. As the steamship sailing in the distance kept approaching, the pirate standing on the bow shouted at John and the others. John, Ochaku, Silver Axe, we are following the orders of Lord Air to ask you for the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Yesterday, Air ordered Nagli to inform the New World pirates. When looking for the original Rox Cadre and asking for the eternal pointer, the group of pirates quickly found the site where the three were located. Air's men. This guy Air really doesn't take us seriously, he dares to ask for something from us by only sending his subordinates. 35 Silver Axe said with murderous intent in his eyes. If it was just now, after learning about Air's deeds in Logue Town. Air's men appear. They must not dare to kill Air's men. Advertisement, but now, they have planned to join forces with Brindywald and the Red Earl to deal with Air. Now they are really not afraid of Air at all. Not afraid of killing Air's men and getting revenge. But then again, what is this guy Air doing to find the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods? Could it be that he has another idea about that ancient weapon? Ochaku guessed with his hand rubbing his chin. This guy Air is really an idiot. If there were ancient weapons in the Valley of the Gods, Marine would have used them against us long ago, Silver Axe said coldly. In the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, if there really was Uranus in that place. So why not Marine? The only explanation is that there is no such ancient weapon in that place. Air must have realized that he will fall to the New World soon, so let's go find the dead rocks that have sunk to the bottom of the sea in advance. 55 John said with a playful smile. Hearing this, Silver Axe and Ochaku burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. That's how I see it. Hey, you guys, how dare you speak rudely to Lord Air? Air's subordinates heard the conversation of several people and shouted angrily at him. Now we don't even care about Air. How dare you be arrogant in front of us with just the few of you? Silver Axe's words fell, and he directly swung an axe, killing all the people on board. It won't be long before Air's fall, so let's look forward to it. The other side New World, the country of Darasta. Blue blue. Blue blue. Blue blue. Air, who was sitting in a pub drinking, heard the voice of a phone bug. Air just picked up the phone bug when a voice came from the opposite side. Lord Air, we have found the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. In whose hands? Air hurriedly asked after hearing the words. The eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods is in the hands of Charlotte Linlin, 99. Air's many subordinates were found, John, Silver Axe, Ochaku, Kaido, Charlotte Linlin and others. Advertisement finally here at Charlotte Linlin, got the exact answer. It was she who held the pointer of the Valley of the Gods, which had sunk into the sea. Really, I see. You talked to her about handing over the eternal pointer of the Valley of God to you first. After a while, you will come to visit with many precious treasures in person, Air ordered. You know, the most scarce thing in Air is devil fruit. In addition, whether it is Bailey or precious treasures, he has everything here. He now wants to get the eternal pointer as soon as possible. Then salvage the bones of Rox, bring it back to life. Lord Air, we've already talked to her, wanting to exchange Bailey or precious treasures for her, but she refused. What does this crazy woman want? Air asked with a raised eyebrow. It stands to reason that Charlotte Linlin's world has grown to a terrible point. But, except Air, there is no pirate in New World who is not short of money. Charlotte Linlin is not interested in a large number of Baileys and precious treasures, which surprises Air. Before waiting for Air's subordinates to respond, Charlotte Linlin grabbed the phone bug and laughed. Mama. Long time no see, Air. Hearing Charlotte Linlin's voice, Air suggested again. Linlin, give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, and you will get a lot of Bailey or precious treasures. Air, the Valley of the Gods has sunk into the sea. Do you still have any thoughts on that ancient weapon? Charlotte Linlin did not respond to Air's words, but asked. Don't talk nonsense. What do you want in order to exchange the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods with you? Air said indifferently. Charlotte Linlin, the reason why she took away the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. And when she created a pirate group, created all nations, and became the overlord of one party. But in the end, it was all in vain. She also sent someone to take the eternal pointer to the Valley of the Gods in Shanghai and searched it several times. You're still so impersonal, Air, but, I still want to remind you that there is no Uranus in the Valley of the Gods. Don't ask about things that have nothing to do with you, Linlin. It was precisely because she also had an idea about that ancient weapon. Chapter 267 The Whereabouts of the Eternal Pointer in the Valley of God. The three of them looked at each other and smiled, then said, "Bring the treasure up, we agree to this alliance." 35. Wise choice. The CP organization said with a slight smile. The members of the CP organization kept approaching the ship, and then gave all the treasures on the ship to the three of them. After the three received the treasure, they discussed with the CP organization. It was then ordered to dock dozens of warships at the port again. For now, they need to wait for Brindywald and the Red Earl to join them. At that time, the five will jointly attack the site where Air is located. It didn't take long for the people from the CP organization to leave. On the sea, a ship appeared again. "Who is this?" John asked suspiciously, noticing the boat sailing on the sea. "Why are so many people looking for them today?" "I don't know, there is no pirate flag on the ship, just an ordinary ship." "Ordinary boats? What are you kidding? Ordinary boats dared to approach us?" 35. The whole New World knows that O3 John, Silver Axe, and Ochaku are in an alliance. And their territory, in New World, is also known to everyone. It is impossible for someone to appear here rashly without knowing this place. As the steamship sailing in the distance kept approaching, the pirate standing on the bow shouted at John and the others. "John, Ochaku, Silver Axe, we are following the orders of Lord Air to ask you for the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Yesterday, Air ordered Nagli to inform the New World pirates. When looking for the original Rox Cadre and asking for the eternal pointer. The group of pirates quickly found the site where the three were located. Air's men. This guy Air really doesn't take us seriously, he dares to ask for something from us by only sending his subordinates." 35 Silver Axe said with murderous intent in his eyes. If it was just now, after learning about Air's deeds in Logue Town. Air's men appear. They must not dare to kill Air's men. Advertisement. But now, they have planned to join forces with Brindywald and the Red Earl to deal with Air. Now they are really not afraid of Air at all, not afraid of killing Air's men and getting revenge. But then again, what is this guy Air doing to find the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods? Could it be that he has another idea about that ancient weapon? Ochaku guessed with his hand rubbing his chin. This guy Air is really an idiot. If there were ancient weapons in the Valley of the Gods, Marine would have used them against us long ago, Silver Axe said coldly. In the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, if there really was Uranus in that place. So why not Marine? The only explanation is that there is no such ancient weapon in that place. Air must have realized that he will fall to the New World soon, so let's go find the dead rocks that have sunk to the bottom of the sea in advance. 55 John said with a playful smile. Hearing this, Silver Axe and Ochaku burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha. That's how I see it. Hey, you guys, how dare you speak rudely to Lord Air?" Air's subordinates heard the conversation of several people and shouted angrily at him. "Now we don't even care about Air. How dare you be arrogant in front of us with just the few of you?" Silver Axe's words fell, and he directly swung an axe, killing all the people on board. It won't be long before Air's fall, so let's look forward to it. The other side New World, the country of Darasta. Blue blue. Blue blue. Blue blue. Air, who was sitting in a pub drinking, heard the voice of a phone bug. Air just picked up the phone bug when a voice came from the opposite side. "Lord Air, we have found the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods." "In whose hands?" Air hurriedly asked after hearing the words. "The eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods is in the hands of Charlotte Linlin, 99. Air's many subordinates were found: John, Silver Axe, Ochaku, Kaido, Charlotte Linlin and others. Advertisement finally here at Charlotte Linlin got the exact answer. It was she who held the pointer of the Valley of the Gods, which had sunk into the sea. "Really? I see. You talked to her about handing over the eternal pointer of the Valley of God to you first. After a while, you will come to visit with many precious treasures in person," Air ordered. "You know, the most scarce thing in Air is devil fruit. In addition, whether it is Bailey or precious treasures, he has everything here. He now wants to get the eternal pointer as soon as possible. Then salvage the bones of Rox, bring it back to life. Lord Air, we've already talked to her, wanting to exchange Bailey or precious treasures for her, but she refused." What does this crazy woman want?" Air asked with a raised eyebrow. It stands to reason that Charlotte Linlin's world has grown to a terrible point. But, except Air, there is no pirate in New World who is not short of money. Charlotte Linlin is not interested in a large number of Baileys and precious treasures, which surprises Air. Before waiting for Air's subordinates to respond, Charlotte Linlin grabbed the phone bug and laughed. Mama. Long time no see, Air." Hearing Charlotte Linlin's voice, Air suggested again. Lin, give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, and you will get a lot of Bailey or precious treasures. Don't ask about things that have nothing to do with you, Lin. She also sent someone to take the eternal pointer to the Valley of the Gods in Shanghai and searched it several times. Charlotte Lin, the reason why she took away the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. And when she created a pirate group, created all nations, and became the overlord of one party. It was precisely because she also had an idea about that ancient weapon. You're still so impersonal, Air, but I still want to remind you that there is no Uranus in the Valley of the Gods. But in the end, it was all in vain. Don't talk nonsense. What do you want in order to exchange the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods with you? Air said indifferently. Air, the Valley of the Gods has sunk into the sea. Do you still have any thoughts on that ancient weapon? Charlotte Lin did not respond to Air's words, but asked. Chapter 268 Set sail, go to all countries, seeking full order. Come and see me in person if you really want, Air. If I go in person, you'll die Lin at my hands. Charlotte Lin directly handed over the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods to his men. And his subordinates returned and handed the things to him, and he could set off for the Valley of the Gods. But Charlotte Lin, if you plan to let him personally trouble you to travel to the nations. He wasn't going to continue talking to Charlotte Lin about any exchange. Instead, go grab it directly, mama. Anyway, we used to be companions. Air, it makes me very sad to say such heartless words. 5. Hearing this, Air's face darkened. What's more, Charlotte Lin's figure is estimated to have changed a lot now. Saying such words made Air nauseated for a while. Seeing that Air didn't respond, Charlotte Lin spoke again. That said, if you want to get it, come over in person, Air. The words fell, and Air hung up the phone directly. Then he ordered Nagley to prepare a ship for him, since Charlotte Lin wants to trouble him. Then he will be welcome. IWC, destruction at the click of a finger. Even the three main forces of the Roger Regiment are far from being Air's opponents. He really didn't take Charlotte Lin's nations seriously. When Air set sail for the nations, Ochaku, John, Silver Axe, and Berndy Wald all agreed to Marine's proposed alliance. Berndy Wald agreed to besiege Air's request, quite simply. Because he was on the Hive Island, it was because of Air's appearance that he was besieged by Marine. At the same time, the auction goods that were snatched were also lost. Berndy Wald's hatred for Air has not dissipated until now. He naturally did not refuse Marine's request for an alliance. Now, the four have agreed to join forces, and only the Red Earl is left. Advertisement East Blue, a certain country. At this time, the Red Earl was drinking in the tavern. Kakaka. As the door slowly opened, several CP organizations with masks on their faces walked in. The first thing this group of people did when they entered the tavern was to directly kill all the other people in the tavern with terrifying strength. The Red Earl turned his head slightly and glanced at the corpses all around him. He put his eyes on the members of the CP organization and said calmly, "Oh, someone from the world government? Unless Naval Headquarters dispatched 2 admirals, the Red Earl was really not afraid? We came to you to talk to you about a business with Bararic Redfield." The leading CP members said with their hands on their backs. "Business? Is the world government talking about business with pirates? 39? Yes, we're here to win you over and join forces with other big pirates to get rid of Air, 55. Interesting. Are you trying to make us pirates kill each other? But, I refuse this business." Earl Red saw Air's strength with his own eyes in Logue Town yesterday. That kind of terrifying combat power put the Red Earl under enormous pressure. He was not interested in provoke an enemy like Air. "You can ask our world government for anything, and we can satisfy you, on the condition that you join forces with Ochaku, John, Silver Axe, Berndy Wald, and deal with Air." This man, Earl Red, has been investigated by the world government for a long time. There is neither the idea of forming a pirate group nor much interest in the so-called jewelry. So, win over a man like the Red Earl to shoot at Air. Then, the Red Earl must be given what he wants. In order to get rid of this man Air, your world government has really taken great pains. You have already attracted the 4 great pirates of New World. The Red Earl smiled slightly. "So, are you interested in our business? 35, anything you said, is it true?" the Red Earl asked with great interest. "Certainly, as long as you can find me Zone, Bat Fruit, and you demons, I will promise you." 35. Red Earl once saw a devil fruit in the sea, and the phantom bat fruit is his favorite devil fruit. Because this devil fruit can allow him to absorb the blood of others, age the other party, and restore his youth. Advertisement in other words, with this devil fruit, the Red Earl can have a body that is almost immortal. For this devil fruit, Red Earl has been looking for it in the sea for a long time. However, there has been no clue, if you can really get this devil fruit from the world government. Even in the face of an enemy like Air, the Red Earl is willing to intervene. You demons type. Hearing the Red Earl Lion's big opening, several people were also stunned. If I can find it for me, I will promise you, otherwise, don't talk about it. 39. Several members of the CP organization looked at each other and then called the phone bug from world government. Report the situation here to the past. After hanging up the phone bug, the leading CP organization member said with a serious expression. You demons type bat fruit, I will send it to you later. The phantom bat fruit vampire form was found by the Red Count somewhere in a few decades later. But at present, this devil fruit is still in the hands of the world government. And in order to completely get rid of men like Air, the world government does not hesitate to dedicate a powerful devil fruit to the Red Earl. Ha ha ha. Very well, I will take over this business, Air. I will try my best to help you get rid of it. Earl Red listens to Zhao Qianhao, smell and can get the coveted devil fruit. Therefore, without any hesitation, I took over this cooperation with the world government. No, what we need is not that you try to help us get rid of it, but that you must help us get rid of it. I will. One-on-one with Air, Red Earl doesn't consider himself an antagonist at all. Even Air's strength is terrifying. Earl Red said with a confident smile on the corner of his mouth. But, if it is with Ochaku, John, Silver Axe, Burndy Wald. In the same way, even if he got the Eudemon's bat fruit, he was still not sure. Dare to ask this world, who can resist? Red Earl is very confident that he can win Air. But, the Red Earl still didn't think that the five of them joined forces, not Air's opponent. After all, 5 big pirates joined forces at the same time. Chapter 269 Ant. Give me a baby a few days later. New World, all nations. Nagley drove the ship, carrying Air to the realm of the nations. It can be seen that there are already quite a few pirates standing in the port of Wongguo at this time, waiting for Air. Air is familiar with Parasparrow, Katakuri, Smoothie, Cracker and others. Mother is already in there, waiting for you, Mr. Air. 35. Seeing Air's ship approaching the port, Katakuri respectfully said. Mom values you very much, Mr. Air, and asked us to come and wait for your arrival. Pelos Puro smiled. Don't talk nonsense, let's lead the way. Air stepped onto the realm of the nations, glanced at the people in front of him, and said indifferently. Understood, this will lead you, Mr. Air. Hearing Air's order, several people did not dare to neglect. Quickly lead the way for Air, although it was the first time they saw Air in person. But, for Air's strength, they also learned about it in the newspapers. First with Kaido Golden Lion, sinking naval headquarters. In Logue Town, they defeated Roger, Rayleigh, and Jabba's 3 main teams. These top-ranked powerhouses naturally dare not say a word of nonsense. A few people soon took Air to the most central island in the world. I saw Charlotte Linlin, all fat, sitting on a huge chair at this time. Although it still has the style of youth at this time. But, it's not far from what it will look like in the future. Meet again, Air. Seeing Air's arrival, a smile appeared on Charlotte Linlin's mouth. Hand over the eternal pointer in the Valley of Gods, Linlin, Air said calmly. We haven't seen each other for a long time, so why not catch up with me, Air? Shut up, Linlin, I'm not in the mood to talk nonsense with you. Now hand over the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, or I will grab it from you. Originally, Charlotte Linlin obediently handed the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods to his subordinates. Then she can still get a large amount of Bailey, as well as precious treasures. Advertisement. But now, Air has come. Things weren't so easy to say. This time, Air didn't bring any Bailey or treasures with him. Just ask Charlotte Linlin, or give it directly, and everything will be fine. Or not give it, and directly destroy all nations. Hearing Air's words, the surrounding Kata, added, Curry and others were stunned. They are in the world, but they know very well how terrible Charlotte Linlin's strength is. In their minds, she is like a god. They had never seen anyone dare to speak to Charlotte Linlin like that. Although shocked. But, no one dared to say anything about Air's rude words. After all, no matter how stupid they are, they can learn from the news how terrible Air's strength is. Mama. I want the pointer of the Valley of God, but I need you and me to have a child, Air. The child born from the blood of the two of us must be a child who can surpass the two of us. Monsters on. 5. Charlotte Linlin said her intentions, although it is said that the nations she created are extremely numerous. But all the people who rule over the nations are all her children. For Charlotte Linlin, her own children are the most trusted ones. Other pirates can't be trusted. Over the years, he has also been looking for various races all over the world, as well as the birth blood of the strong. Now she is eyeing Air. Air is strong, Charlotte Linlin is a former companion. Nature is very understanding. She was sure, if she could have a bloodline with Air, then it must be a monster capable of dominating the world. Is that why you called me here today? Yes, if you want the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, you must agree to this condition. You don't seem to understand one thing, Linlin. I can easily take the eternal pointer from you. Air glanced at Charlotte Linlin with contempt. Just kidding, now Air, Sagebody, and Fairy Eyes have all reached the full level. Advertisement: take full control of the power of the 10 tails and become a true sage of 6 paths. Now he completely ignored Charlotte Linlin. Air, aren't you interested in the blood that was born between the two of us? Charlotte Linlin asked with a sullen face. I'm not interested. I'll give you one last chance, Linlin. Give me the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, or I will grab it from you, and your kingdom will sink into the sea today. Before Charlotte Linlin could speak, Parasparrow panicked and said quickly, Mom, why don't you give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods? Anyway, we have already searched the place in the Valley of the Gods, and there is no whereabouts of Uranus. Yes, Mom, the eternal pointer of the Valley of God is completely useless to us. Since Air wants it, it's better to hand it over to him. Smoothie also quickly advised. Today even any big pirate from the New World came. They are not afraid, let alone believe that the other party can destroy all nations. But for Air's remarks, they are still convinced. After all, Air is the strongest pirate in the world with a bounty of up to 7 billion Baileys. Since he said he wanted to destroy all nations, he certainly could. In their opinion, the eternal pointer of the Valley of God is completely useless. Just leave it to Air and nothing will happen. After hearing the remarks of several people, Charlotte Linlin was silent for a few seconds and then looked serious. Air, I don't want to fight a man like you, but I just want the air between the two of us. Naturally, she knew very well how terrifying Air's strength was. She didn't want to confront a terrifying existence like Air. But she is so interested in the offspring born with Air. After all, if she really has a child with Air, she has a great probability to become the king of the sea in the future. Be the king of this sea. This is his lifelong dream. Now, with a nod from Air, that wish can come true. So she still didn't want to give in so easily, and wanted Air to respond in agreement. My patience is exhausted, Linlin, Air said indifferently. He has given enough advice. Now that Charlotte Linlin, there is no idea of handing over the eternal pointer. So let's go grab it now. Chapter 270. Let the nations perish. Choke. Air didn't say any nonsense, and directly pulled out the supreme sword from his waist. Today, let the nations perish for it. 35. The moment he pulled out the blade, Air exuded an aura of ultimate terror all over his body. The incomparable Weya shrouded the hearts of countless people. Mom, hurry up, give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods, or the nations we have worked so hard to create today will be destroyed. Feel the terrifying aura that emanates from Air's body. Pelos Puro broke out in a cold sweat, and hurriedly shouted at Charlotte Linlin, wanting to cry without tears. He really didn't understand. Why does Charlotte Linlin dare to keep talking to Air about the condition of the heirs when Air refuses? Obviously, the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods, for them, has no use value. It is clear that nothing happens today, and I can spend it peacefully. But, because Charlotte Linlin keeps talking about the offspring, made Air run out of patience and now wants to destroy the nations. Mom, there are many strong people in this world. You can find other strong people to give birth to children in the future, but for now, don't pay attention to Air anymore, and give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of God. A calm Katakuri, seeing Air's murderous intention, couldn't help but advise Charlotte Linlin. He knew very well that Air really had the power to destroy the entire world. Cracker yelled at Air. Air, I'm going to get the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods for you now. Cracker knows where the eternal pointer is stored. Since Charlotte Linlin, there is no intention to give this thing to Air. Then he personally went to pick it up and handed it to Air. After all, this is an important item that can prevent the destruction of their nations. Air. A terrible man like you, do you really have no interest in the offspring born by the two of us? 35. Even though she knew that Air had murderous intentions, Charlotte Linlin still did not give up at this time. Linlin, as a former companion, I have given you many opportunities, but unfortunately, you have never grasped it. Shish. The words fell, and Air directly swung the blade and slashed towards Charlotte Linlin. Advertisement: the sharp-edged blade rubbed the space violently, and there was a burst of roaring sound in the air. In the next second, a terrifying sword energy that was enough to sever the sky and tear the earth flew away. The black sword chi vertical and horizontal, the spaces distorted, turned into a huge black dragon and roared out towards Charlotte Linlin. Watching the attack in front of her eyes, even Charlotte Linlin has great confidence in her defense. But he didn't dare to underestimate this attack from Air. I saw that a thick layer of armament hockey was wrapped around her arm, and her arms were crossed in front of her. I want to defend against this one. Zitsa. A terrifying sword energy instantly hit Charlotte Linlin. The terrifying power directly caused her huge body to move back dozens of meters. Along the way, a deep gap was left. Mom was hurt. Smoothie looked at Charlotte Linlin's arm in horror and exclaimed. You know, Charlotte Linlin's physique is called a steel balloon. As early as when she was young, she could easily resist the attack of shells and bullets with her flesh. And now, Charlotte Linlin's strength has reached its peak. Her physique has also perverted to the strongest level. Can do without armament hockey. With his fleshly body, he can easily defend against the vast majority of physical attacks in this world. But today, even her arms are wrapped in a layer of armament hockey. But air still broke the defense, leaving 2 not shallow wounds, and blood was seeping out. This guy is too strong, Pelos Perot said with a pale face. Although from the newspapers, Air's strength has been clearly understood. But now I see that Air's knife can cause damage to such a defensive powerhouse as Charlotte Linlin. He still couldn't help it, terrified. The nations that we have worked so hard to create will not be destroyed today. Cracker stood upside down, sweating uncontrollably from his back. See the injury caused by Air's knife. 0 for flowers. Countless people were suddenly terrified and shocked to the extreme. Advertisement at this time, they had a great sense of ominous in their hearts. That is, today, their nations may really be destroyed because of Air. Charlotte Linlin looked solemn, looked at the wound on her arm unexpectedly, and said solemnly. You be *************** D. She did not expect that her most proud defense would be broken directly by Air with just one knife. After so many years, your strength hasn't improved much, Linlin. Air said lightly with the blade on his shoulder. During the Valley of the Gods campaign, Charlotte Linlin wasn't far behind Air. But, to this day, there is a huge gap in the strength of the two. Air, I will give you the eternal pointer of the Valley of God. Let's stop the battle between the two of us for the time being. Feel the pain in the arm position. At this time, Charlotte Linlin had no idea of fighting Air at all. After all, no matter how stupid she is, she can still feel the gap with Air. In the same way, she also knew that it was absolutely impossible for a child to be born between herself and Air. Now she is willing to make concessions. Give Air the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods without any conditions. I said, I'm running out of patience, Linlin, I've given you many chances. From the very beginning, let the men take the precious treasures and exchange Bailey with Charlotte Linlin. But being rejected by him, Air himself came all the way. This in itself annoys Air, inside. After arriving in the world, Air calmly asked Charlotte Linlin for the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. But the other party has no intention of handing things over to him. He kept talking about the offspring. Now, it's up. I feel like I have absolutely no chance of winning. I want to give him the eternal pointer of the Valley of God to resolve this match. Is that simple? Who is he really? After a fight, can I still talk to him? Today's Air has already made a plan to destroy all nations?